Wait. Hold on here. Is this the barbershop? Is this the barbershop?
Yes, it is.
It's the barbershop.
Yes.
Wait, I mean, we can't talk street in the barbershop. Then where can we talk street? We can't talk street nowhere else. You know, this ain't nothing but healthy conversation. That's all.
You gotta tell who's the park down.
It ain't nobody exempt in the barbershop. You know that. Ain't nobody exempt. You can talk about whoever and whatever, whenever you want to in the barbershop.
Why you gotta
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Yeah. There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, so do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome back to another episode of The Barbershop. It is Friday night. All men, I'm calling all men, get your ass in here. As you can see in the chat, the link is in the chat, okay? The link is in the chat for you to join the show tonight. Make sure your camera's on because we can't trust your opinion if we can't see your face, all right? So it's good to be here tonight, man. I'm honeymoon happy and peacock proud to be right here in the barbershop. Any man that wants to come up, hit that link. Also, guys, if you want to support the channel, we hit 1 million, guys, 1 million views on this channel. It's a lot of hard work, and you guys want to show some appreciation? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. That's free. If you want to give your boy some really good coffee, Starbucks or something, you could definitely hit the super chat, and you can definitely hit the Cash App that's scrolling at the bottom of the screen because it'll be scrolling in just a second. Where is it at? All right, there it is right there. All right, thank you guys so much for the support that you give the channel. I appreciate you guys so much. And if you're on Facebook right now watching this live, man, I'm so happy that you're here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and put something in the chat so I can know that you're here. Let me know you're here so I can shout you out. All right. I appreciate you. Appreciate you so much. Appreciate you so much. All right. So we already got a super chat, man. Curtis, man, listen to you something about Curtis, man. Curtis he's not one of those people that say, I support you, and then he don't show you. Curtis Moore, man, 1999 super chat, bro. Right through the door, not even here 30 seconds. He says, showing my appreciation to the network. Where the Hulkster at? All right, he want the Hulkster. All right, man, I will definitely play the Hulkster for you right now. Give me just a second. Oh no, did somebody move? Oh no, there he is. So I'm about to get mad, Curtis, if somebody moved him. But thank you for the 1999 super chat, guys. You could do what Curtis is doing right now by supporting the channel. You can send a Cash App, because the Cash App is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. That's easier for some people. Or you could do a super chat, which Curtis just did for 1999, or any amount will be appreciated. But I do want to play this for him. He said, "Where's the Hulkster?" Here we go.
Whatever you need, whatever you need, whatever you need.
All right, man. That was the Hulkster, man. I appreciate you guys. If you guys have any questions you want read, please go ahead and put the questions in the chat, and I will definitely answer those questions for you. Tonight, you see the title, Let Me, Allow Me. Woman, who you talking to? I think that we're living in a time where women have gotten above themselves. I make more money than a man. I can talk to a man like a man talks to a man. I got a better job. I could talk to a man like I talk to any other. I could talk to a man like I'm a man. And I believe that it's time for men. A lot of men have simply given up. Let's just be real. If we being real with each other, a lot of men just gave up. Say, listen, we're not doing this no more. I'm tired of it. Okay, whatever you say, whatever you want to do. That's what men have done. Men have said, fuck it. I'm tired. And I think that we need to get away from that. I'm tired. No, be a man. God called you to be a leader. God called you to be a man. And you need to start checking them immediately. When they say something to you, check them. Even if they got a bad mouth on them, you still put them in a place because God gave you authority to do so. If anybody disagrees with me, say something. If God put you in authority over something, if God may put you in authority over something, why are you afraid of it? Why are you scared to stand up to it? Why are you scared to say something? Say something. Don't allow a woman to just say anything to you, disrespect you. We've all been there. Hell, half of us grew up in a house and our moms emasculated us. Right? How many times have y'all romanticized the abuse of your mama? Oh man, I mean, my mama used to be surgical with the extension cord. I mean, my mama used to call me a bitch ass nigga. My mama used to call me out my name, call me, talk to me. Yes, that is terrible. That is terrible. That means your mama introduced you to what you accepting from the woman you married or dating. She taught you to embrace it because you embraced her when she did it to you. You love her. Oh, I love my mama. Oh Lord Jesus, I love my mama so much. Nope. Some of us, you're supposed to love your mom, but at the end of the day, you're supposed to hold her accountable as well because you're a man. God put you in authority over her too. When you get to a certain age, your daddy die or your daddy not in your life, you're in authority over your mother too. I got some videos I want to watch tonight. Yeah, I got some videos in here that we all going to sit here and watch. And we're going to react to, okay? Because it's about to go down. I appreciate you guys for being here. If you're just getting in here, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as soon as you can. Let me know that you're there. Put something in the chat because it's about to go down tonight, okay? You see the title of the show, Let Me, Allow Me, Woman, Who You Talking To? All right, so let's go ahead and jump in there. Again, if you just get in here, hit the like button, subscribe button if you want to donate to the channel like Curtis Moore did with the $20. I appreciate you, brother. You could do that with the super chat and or the Cash App scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Show me some love. Make sure you put in the subject who you are, and I would definitely shout you out. If you want to remain anonymous, you can just send it and says appreciate the show. All right, I appreciate you guys. All right, so I was watching Saint and Sinner. If you guys are not familiar with him, make sure you go and watch his channel. Shout out to Saint and Sinner Marquette for doing a great job of being a man. Being a man. Okay, we got another Cash App, man. I mean, a Cash App. We have another super chat. We have Big Ann in the building. He didn't say what he wanted to see. He may put it in the chat on what he wants to see for this super chat. But he says, BMU, what if your mama try to knuckle up on you? I think that mothers need to understand who try to fight their sons. I think moms need to understand that sons are not always going to be cubs. Those cubs grow up to be lions. Let me say that again. Mothers need to understand those cubs grow up to be lions. And so my mom would whoop me. But when I got 16, 17 and can throw a Volkswagen over the back of a house, why would my mom even test my resolve? You gonna put your hands on me, you're ineffective. When you swing a belt, it's ineffective. When you slap me upside the head, it's ineffective. There's nothing you can do. You can't match my power, and your strength can't cause any pain to me. You can give me your best shot. Hit me with your best shot, and it won't affect me at all. Yeah, it won't affect me at all. And just imagine some of these boys out here taking that abuse from their moms, and the son says, you know what, Mom, I'm tired. And just hit her with one of those Holy Ghost aisle 5 at Walmart punches and just put her down. Because imagine a big old 6 foot tall boy, 225 pound mama slapping him up in the mouth, punching him upside the head. What's she expect him to do? And I think that the title tonight, Let Me Allow Me, is coming from Sinner and Saint. So guys, make sure you check out his page, his channel. Amazing content creator. But he really spoke on to these women. Women were calling into the show, and he was checking their ass left and right. And I loved every bit of it. I loved every bit of it. All right. I want to say shout out to Latinka Johnson. Thank you for being on the show tonight. Being here and supporting the channel. Also, Ted Mitchell from Facebook. Thank you guys. Continue to watch it, to hit share, and get other people in here and get them involved in the show tonight. All right, so let's get to the nitty gritty here. I want to start the first video. And remember, fellas, if y'all want to come up, you're absolutely welcome to do so. The link is tagged at the top of the chat. Okay. If it's not in there, if you can't see it, make sure you put it in the chat that you can't see it. I'll definitely send it back in there so we can have this discussion tonight. If nobody comes up, we'll watch these videos, we'll react to these videos, and we'll be up out of here. Okay. We'll go strong and not long. All right. Again, thank you guys for watching tonight. I really, 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 really appreciate you guys very much for being here. Hit the like button, subscribe button, throw your boy a Cash App or a super chat if you feel the content is worth your donation. All right. So the first video I want to watch from Saint and Center YouTube channel is this one. Let me pull it up. Hold on a second. All right, here we go.
Broad on the internet say, if my man tell me to delete my social media, I'm gonna delete him. You dumb broad, you would trade in a good man for an Instagram following from an Instagram account. You are dirt and you are for the streets. You are utter trash. And that I have to preach against. I will speak against. I will act against. And I might be the last one. I might be the last of the Mohicans, but we will bring an iron.
All right, hold on. Let me finish it. Hold on a second.
To that filthy thinking, and I promise you that when we reign, the world will be upright and righteous. The women will cover themselves up. The men will respect them and regard them because they have value. The children will behave and they will achieve, and you will see a revolution in the black peoples and all other peoples who follow the system.
I'm muted. I agree 1000% with what he just said. When the men stand up and say, you know what, hush your mouth. There's nothing you can do or say to control any situation as a woman. Be quiet or hush. You can't defend, you can't protect, you can't fight off nothing. You don't want to do things. You don't want to change your tire. You don't want to take out trash. You don't want to pay all the bills by yourself. Just hush sometimes. Men don't want to talk to you. Sometimes we just want you to hush. Just hush. Okay. All right. So again, tell me what you guys think in the chat. I'm gonna play it one more time. If you just get here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for being here tonight. But I'm gonna play it one more time for you guys. Here we go.
One black broad on the internet say, if my man tell me to delete my social media, I'm gonna delete him. You dumb broad, you would trade in a good man for an Instagram following from an Instagram account. You are dirt and you are for the streets. You are utter trash.
Exactly.
And that I have to preach against. I will speak against. I will act against.
Here it is.
And I might be the last one. I might be the last of the Mohicans, but we will bring an iron fist to that filthy thinking. And I promise you that when we reign,
Look at our
the
face.
world will be upright and righteous. The women will cover themselves up. The men will respect them and regard them because they have value. The children will behave and they will achieve. And you will see a revolution in the black peoples and all other peoples who follow the system.
Man, he cooking with good, absolute good grease. He's cooking with absolute good grease. I appreciate Saint for that. He's absolutely right. When men take back their balls and start telling what it is that they want, what they want to see, the community will be better. And stop being afraid of a woman who's a $115 or a woman who could be a 275. Jesus. Don't be scared. You're a man. And the next time, I'm telling you this right now, the next time I'm around any family member, friend, or foe, I really have a lot of friends, but if I'm around somebody and I hear a man, one more man say, happy wife, happy life, I'm going to slap him in his mouth. There's no such thing. You will age 20 years trying to make a woman happy and you ain't getting nothing out of it. Men need reciprocation. Men need their ego stroked daily. If your man can't put up a fence, but he trying, your ass need to be out there with a cup of lemonade saying, baby, this is the best fence man I've ever seen in my life. It is your responsibility to make sure your man feels like a man. We got R Payne in the building tonight. I don't know if he's coming up tonight or not. R Payne says $5. He says Saint is on point. Yes, indeed. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, R Payne, for coming up here, for giving a super chat, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. Here you go. All right, that was for you, R Payne, especially. All right. So thank you so much, man, for the super chat. I appreciate you so much, man. All right, let me see here. Yeah, Saint has a absolute 100% point. I agree with him completely on that video. Now we're going to move on to the second video. If you guys have anything you want to say, please put it in the chat. Here's the second video.
You a leader all the time. It's like, are you trying to convince yourself that you're a leader?
You talking to a real boss, you heard me? You talking to one of them ones, and you acting like you talking to one of them regular off the street. It's crazy how y'all sit up here and talk to somebody who has great education, excellent professional experience, ran corporations across the country, did significant philanthropic work that I was awarded for, but you want to sit here and still won't submit. If she don't want to play her position, it's not because you're not a leader, it's because she is not a follower. The reason that you never find the man who's a good leader is because you don't know what a leader is, and you're looking for some fantasy of a man who's masculine, but he lets you run over him. You're looking for a fantasy of a man who will let you run his mouth, but somehow he's also the big dog at the same time. Impossible. That's why y'all end up alone, because you don't know what you're looking for. And when a real man shows up, you expect a real man to behave like a woman. You expect him to communicate like a woman. Mark, well, it's how you say it. Oh, you want me to talk like you? That's not going to happen.
Ooh, that boy cooking, y'all. Look, that video right there is self-explanatory. He is cooking. He said, stop playing with me. Who are you talking to? Stop playing with me. Guys, understand that if you're watching this right now, I don't care if you make $10 an hour or $53 an hour. You are a man. You are created to be the stronger, faster, the visionary. You are the man. Don't let no woman downplay you and talk down to you and make you feel less than. You start checking them. Checking them. R Payne, are you coming up tonight? Or are you playing hooky tonight? I don't know what R Payne is doing tonight. But yeah, so I think that the way that he checked her is amazing. She started out with an attitude. What did she say? You a lead. Dang, you got to say you're a leader. Let's just listen to her. Listen to her.
Saying you a leader all the time, It's like, are you trying to convince yourself that you're a leader?
You talking to a real boss, you heard me? You talking to one of them ones, and you acting like you talking to one of them regular off the street. It's crazy how y'all sit up here and talk to somebody who has great education, excellent professional experience, ran corporations across the country, did significant philanthropic work that I was awarded for, but you want to sit here and still won't submit. If she don't want to play her position, it's not because you're not a leader, it's because she is not a follower. The reason that you never find the man who's a good leader is because you don't know what a leader is, and you're looking for some fantasy of a man who's masculine, but he lets you run over him. You're looking for a fantasy of a man who will let you run his mouth, but somehow he's also the big dog at the same time. Impossible. That's why y'all end up alone, because you don't know what you're looking for. And when a real man shows up, you expect a real man to behave like a woman. You expect him to communicate like a woman. Mark, well, it's how you say it. Oh, you want me to talk like you? That's not gonna happen.
Our pain. What's going on, man?
Yo, man, you know what, man? You need to listen, man. You need to take more time being up here solo. You should be up here time to time. That's why I didn't want to come up. I wanted to just go ahead and roll, man, for half hour, 45 minutes, man. They need to see BMU.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you.
I need to see
but I also like I also like to hear you guys on what Saint says. Saint is cooking.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Saint is cooking with good grease. And our pain, I think more men need to have this attitude. Men don't need to put up with shit.
No, absolutely not. You know, I was on the show last night with Ferg, right? But the baseline show is, I think, run by a woman, right? So a couple of guys up there, I might go there once in a while and talk to them. They were saying the man who gets married is validated by the woman.
Absolutely not.
I said, man, what the?
Absolutely not.
I said, where y'all get that stupid shit from, man? And, you know, that's before I knew that they were doing the man's side of a lady's channel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I said, man, come on. You know, they had a young buck on there, man. He wasn't buying none of that shit. And I said, yeah, you know, because I was in lockstep with him. I said, are you kidding me? I said, you know, by me proposing to a woman, she's being validated that I'm telling her that she's worthy to be my wife. You know how many women don't get proposed to?
Exactly.
She ain't validating nobody, man. They should be shit. Man.
They need to understand they're not the prize. Yeah. They're not. They don't validate us. We validate you.
Yeah. It's a funny thing, and they were, you know, it was two of them. I said, man, you guys got to be kidding me. I said, for the obligation. First of all, we got to vet the woman. They got to vet us too. But they could say no. Yeah, a woman could say no to my proposal. Then I'll be looking for somebody else. You know, I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world. That's why you ask. If she can't see the value, then she's doing you a favor.
Exactly.
You know, shit. She said, "Listen, you're not the one for me. Okay, great. I'm not forcing that shit. I'm going to the next person." You know, I couldn't believe the way they were like heavy on it. Oh, she validates who you are as a man.
Yeah,
shit, get out of here.
Exactly. And women have to understand our pain, because men need to start telling them. We got to stop just sitting there letting them say it. We just got to stop them. Shut me. Whoa, wait, hold on, ma'am. Wait. We got to start telling them. Some of these men just sit back and just allow it.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
No, you gotta shut them. You gotta shut that down. You're nothing. You're like he's man. Let's go. Let me go to another video. Watch this.
Yeah. Many white women on your page. And
you there it goes. You're so jealous of the white woman. Why are you jealous of the white woman? Hey, no, real quick. Can you tell me why are you so mad at the white woman? Real quick. Why are you so mad at the white woman? Why are you so mad at the white woman?
But I'm not. You're not over me.
This is an angry. I was waiting for her to stop. She just wouldn't stop. Let me tell you guys real quick. If you're ever wondering why is it that they start yelling and becoming so unruly, it's because the truth. You see, the truth is a potent medicine, and it brings the demon out of them.
RP, have you ever ran into that where you just telling a woman the truth and she's getting evil and start saying vulgar things and calling you out? Oh, absolutely. Yes, indeed. He cooking with good grease. I'm trying to tell you.
I think a lot of guys don't handle that the way they should, because they elevate with the chick, and that's not what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
You know, because once you elevate it, you know, then now you're playing her game, right? Because from what I understand, I believe this, that when you argue certain things with a woman, and you're being objective and you're being direct, She wants to take it from there and put it into the land of subjectivity.
Right.
You know,
I agree.
You know, and some of them it's just subconscious. It's what they do. You know, it's absolutely what they do. I mean, some of them more slick at it, and some of them just do it naturally, but they don't want to have those specifics. Like he was just saying, hey, why are you so upset when it's a white woman? That she would refuse to answer that.
Yep, she wouldn't answer.
Yeah, you gonna answer that.
Quiet. Now, the reason that we're here is for this last video right here. All right. This one right here.
Dad used to say, sometime just let him win. Just let him say whatever he wants to say.
You ain't got no power to let. You're not letting nothing. That's my whole point. Stop trying to act like y'all got power. You got no power. You don't let nothing. I let. You don't let. You're not running anything. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all is stop with the power stuff. You don't have power. You're weak. Here's the thing. A man of your size would never speak like you speak. He would never be talking allowing me and letting me because he knows that he'll get his jaw broken. Why is it that women weigh $110 talking about you're going to let, you're going to allow? You don't let anything. You don't allow anything. Stay in a woman's place. Like you told your kids, stay in a kid's place. Stay in a woman's place. Stop with the let. Don't let. You don't let nobody win. That's why y'all are alone. You don't let. You are to be dominated. You follow, you submit, you obey, you comply. Get familiar with those words. That's what it is.
Woo! Our pain. The boy, man, I'm gonna play it one more time.
My dad used to say, sometime just let him win. Just let him say whatever he wants to say.
You ain't got no power to let. You're not letting nothing. That's my whole point. Stop trying to act like y'all got power. You got no power. You don't let nothing. I let. You don't let. You're not running anything. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all is stop with the power stuff. You don't have power. You're weak. Here's the thing. A man of your size would never speak like you speak. He would never be talking allowing me and letting me because he knows that he'll get his jaw broken. Why is it that women weigh $110 talking about you're going to let, you're going to allow? You don't let anything. You don't allow anything. Stay in a woman's place. Like you told your kids, stay in a kid's place. Stay in a woman's place. Stop with the let. Don't let. You don't let nobody win. That's why y'all are alone. You don't let. You are to be dominated. You follow, you submit, you obey, you comply. Get familiar with those words. That's what it is.
Woo! She couldn't say nothing.
But you know what?
She knew he was telling the truth.
Say just set this shit up so he could just riff on these chicks, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, he just said, let me invite some chips on so I can just riff on them. I don't give a shit what they say. I'm riffing on them. He's an acquired taste, though. That's for sure, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And Curtis Moore with another $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Curtis. He said they truly want a woman in a man's body. Yes, we were talking about that the other night. If you missed the show the other night, Curtis Moore, they were talking about lavender marriages. Yeah. I researched this a little bit more, and I went on our pain, and I saw a lot of women. They're okay with this.
You know,
straight women want gay men.
Yeah, what's going on, Locks to Smile?
What's going on, Locks to Smile? How you doing, Sugar?
Yeah, listen, I just think that we men give too much energy to them, but just get back on point. You know, and we don't really key off the buzzwords that they say. And, you know, to us, it sounds like just, internet speak.
Mm-hmm.
But when women use certain words, they fucking mean it. Like when they say partner, you know, a lot of it just glosses over people because they say, well, that's synonymous to being married. But no, it's not. It's not. You know, so when they say certain words, that shit has a specific meaning to them. And I think men just let it go by, you know, act like, you know, we understand what they're trying to say. No, I don't think you do. You know, so yeah, like these guys yesterday, I mean, I want to talk about it because I like the show. I mean, I could go up there and kind of ruffle some feathers because I'm always the oldest guy there. I mean, one of the guys says, well, you know, when a woman lets you lead, right? I said, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You know, when I let you lead, man, when you get in a relationship, if you ain't assuming the leadership, then what you doing?
Exactly.
You know, and they were saying somebody, so I kind of started to put some of the clues together. And I saw, you know, the channel that it belonged to. So I'm you know, Ferg goes over there all the time. They have a show that goes. So I might pop in from time to time just to kind of sharpen the axe. you know, to
Yeah.
counteract some of that.
Yeah. Let me know next time. Let me know next time, uncle. You know I don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna tell them what it is.
Absolutely, man. So it was interesting though to hear some of those kind of conversations that they were having, man. It was, but it really pains me to hear men deferring the way they defer to women. It's crazy.
Yep.
It's like, and like I'm trying to work on something, and and it's funny. Sometimes you feel intellectually challenged in terms of you're not a real journalist. But I'm convinced that liberal women have destroyed the United States. Liberal women, white women in their own way, and black women in another way, but they're both together. They're absolutely destructive because they got voting power.
Yep.
You know, and it's crazy. Now, let's put it I'll be real quick. Just put it to entertainment. White liberal women have ruined Marvel.
Yeah.
They've ruined Star Wars.
Yes.
And they ruined ESPN.
Yeah.
They all put them to Disney.
I seen they just put Scarlett Johansson, which I am so in love with Scarlett. She is that woman just getting, Lord have mercy. But I seen that they changed everything to female. I see that they changed Jesus to a female now. They got I see that they got Scarlett Johansson is this action star in the new Jurassic Park.
Oh yeah. It fly.
Yeah, it did. It's just a lot of women. I'm looking at Netflix and all the shows that are coming out.
Yeah,
they're all women kicking 200-pound men's asses.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy shit. You know what? And here's the thing. I mean, we don't have to go down this path. The one Star Wars movie series they had on is Andor.
Yeah, Andor.
Came on. Now Andor has some serious women in there, but those women are just they're strong women, but not at the expense of having strong men around.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't have
to. Yeah, they did it the right way, man. Yeah. These ladies were bad. I don't know if did you see the series?
Yeah, the Andor on Disney Plus.
You saw part 2?
I haven't seen part 2.
Oh shit, man!
Good.
Oh, the season 2 is off the chain.
I need to watch it.
Oh shit, man! Yeah, and it brings it all together. Season 2 is very, very good.
Yeah, I've seen the action movie with Jennifer Lopez. A man beat her almost to death, and she had enough power to overpower him. Shoot him from 300 yards out in the head. Just
It's crazy. Yeah, it's just crazy shit, man. And so they destroyed movies, and now they're saying because they thought everybody thinks the Gen Z men they're all gay. It's not true. They are rejecting a lot of these things because they want to see. It's not. I think it's hype to say these men don't want to see men in lead roles. These action movies are supposed to be for men.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal. All those boys, Chuck Norris, what was the other guy? Charles Bronson, all
these guys.
Yeah,
you can't even make them. I saw the Thunderbolts just came on Disney Plus because I refused to go to the movies to see it. And they got the little pudgy little 2-foot chick beating up big grown men. I said, "Come on, man!"
Yeah.
I said, man, they didn't even give Scarlett Johansson enough. She should have had her own lead in the movie, not the one that she, they killed her off. So putting her in that show afterwards was anticlimactic.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, the very voice of YouTube is in the building tonight, lost in translation.
I didn't get yourself something cool to drink.
What's happening, man?
Yeah, what's going on?
Yes, indeed.
Man,
enjoying the show.
Have you been watching?
From the beginning, man.
Brother, when I tell you Saint Marquette be cooking,
he got the chef.
He said, let me, allow me. Oh, no. How do you feel about that, Loss? Let me, allow me.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I had a situation this week where some lady just started popping off at the mouth at me in one of these TikTok rooms. I was like, first of all, you need to check your tone. Second of all, you don't know who you're talking to. And third of all, you came in hot and you didn't check the temperature of the room. All of a sudden she was like, well, see, that's why you ain't master. First of all, that's my decision to make, not yours. I said, don't get mad at me because you want to put a label on me that don't want to stick. I said, that sign language don't work on me. That doesn't work on me. And the problem is we have a lot of women who don't get checked when they just run off at the mouth for absolutely no reason because they have no power. Their power is in their mouth. And then when you take that away from them, that's when they get mad. And then once I checked her, she left because everybody was saying, oh, no, he ain't one of them. And she felt embarrassed.
That's what I told Arpain. We got to stop them. Listen, when they start talking, we got to, like these women on here talking about, oh, we need to lavender marriages. We need to be with gay men because straight men are too controlling. And no, we got to stop them. Listen. If you want to have a man stick his dick in a corn on a cob ass nigga and put his dick in your mouth, that's your business. But you're not going to be allowed to say it in front of grown men. I had to check a bitch nigga today who act like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? At my job. We're going to talk about, what did he say? They were talking about lavender marriages. And he said, yeah. And he's all for the shit. But then he said, oh, well, you said somebody, you must want to be a part of that or something. I said, first of all, don't play with me ever. I said, don't ever play with me. I said, I'm going to tell you now. No. He was laughing. Like I said, I'm not laughing. I said, I don't play that shit. I said, you stop right now. Don't say nothing else to me about that shit. And the older lady said, yeah, you can't play with him like that. He don't play that gay shit. You better tell him before I slap the fuck out of him and lose my job. I don't play that shit at all. Zero. You're not gonna want to talk that gay shit. All that gay shit you be talking at work like you a grown man, you married, but you talk all that, but you feminine getting your nails. Oh hell no, no sir.
And you know the bad part about that whole situation is that the gay guys will soonly find out that having a woman around who adds no value to your life, they're gonna get rid of them too. So where they're gonna be out in the cold. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably usually the only reason why they get together is for economic reasons. My whole thing is this: if you get together with a gay guy for economic reasons, then why can't you get together with a straight guy? You see what I'm saying? And I think the reason why is that because guys are starting to smarten up and they're not letting these women get away with what they used to get away with. And that's the reason why you see a whole lot of women crashing out online, crying in their cars, you know, realizing they messed up. Well, the problem is that guys have changed and gotten their spines back, and women haven't got the memo yet.
Nope.
They're too busy talking to their girlfriends, and generally that echo chamber doesn't ring until one of them gets hit. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, girl, guess what? The men didn't change. They ain't taking nobody on no date. You know, I was watching this video where this guy was on the pop to the balloon. And it was like this after the show type of situation. And it was one of these couples that selected each other. And what happened was the girl showed up late and, you know, the guy had sent a car for her. He sent all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? That type of thing. Yeah. Set up the date or whatever. And what happened was she called him 5 minutes before she's supposed to meet up and said, I'm on my way. You know what he told her?
Don't worry.
He said, don't worry about it.
Did you hear what I said?
He said, don't worry about it. You know why? Because he drew a line in the sand. He's like, look, I got boundaries. And I think a lot of guys are going to have to start doing it because any other guy would have been like, oh, it's okay. You get him on. No, he was like, I own 3 businesses. You know, I take care of my business. You know what I mean? That type of thing. There's no way. You know, and I don't care what you look like. You got to get cut off. You got to get cut off. And that's how it is.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What's going on, Brooklyn Berlin, man? How you doing tonight, bro?
How you guys doing? Great conversation. And just wanted to make a few points later on, but I can do it now or once you guys finish.
Oh, no. You good? You good, Loss?
I'm good. I'm done.
Okay, go ahead, bro. Go ahead, man.
I think we got to look at the trajectory, you know. It's in our nature to buck up when women are disrespectful, but we have to understand that the machine is destroying men for doing that. So it's forcing men to, in a way, censor themselves because that whole mentality, like, woman, who are you talking to? Just that right there will get you all sorts of penalties. So I was having this conversation with my ex about our son. And she was saying to him, like, if the little girl hits you, you can hit her back. I was like, we can't raise them that way anymore. because he has to deal with these penalties as an adult. So we shouldn't be programming him at this age, at 6 years old, to, if a little girl hits you, you have the right to hit her back. We have to program him now for the future, so he doesn't get triggered as an adult when, some woman does hit him and then he all of a sudden reverts to his childhood and hits her back. And I think we have to start thinking about this on a larger scale, even as adults. When you're in a relationship and when she verbally abuses you or smarts, you have to take that as abuse and get her. And we have to have the conversation where it's like, it may seem not manly, but you have to go to the police into I was abused. I want her out my house. I want the kids to stay with me. That's the only way I think that men can win their fatherhood, is by censoring themselves and emasculating themselves in a way so that they can win in the system.
Yeah, I wouldn't use the word emasculate. I would say I wouldn't use that word at all. But I hear what you're saying. But it's not an emasculation to stand up for your rights. For example, if you have an abusive woman, and physically, especially, and you're in a relationship, calling the cops on her ass is not emasculation. That's
about verbally though, because verbally leads to abuse. The verbal leads to physical. So the moment she even does the verbal abuse, you have to see it as abuse, and then your men's circle will say that that's not manly. But you see what I mean?
I hear what you're saying, but no. Okay, let's leave it at verbal. I mean, whether you tell somebody else or not, you have to take action. That's what you're really saying. You should take action on that. Whatever that action is might be different from man to man, but you should absolutely take action. And what I'm saying, taking that action, no matter how other people might see it, I don't think it's emasculation. I think it's salvation. I think that's what we need to do. We need to take action when women are out of line. And it doesn't have to be physical.
What sort of actions?
Well, it's going to vary from man to man. So if she's verbally abusive, and there's no way out of it, you have a decision to make, right? Are you going to stay in that relationship, or are you going to move on? Now, if kids are involved, you got to take that into consideration. So now the court's got to be involved, right? So it depends on how you elevate it. You couldn't just leave and take the kids, right? That's a different thing. You can
if you do it the right way.
So what do you mean by the right way?
The moment that a woman, for example, if you as a man, if you get in an argument with a woman and you punch the wall, she can claim that as abuse and get you put out the house. That's a fact.
He's right.
Yeah, okay. No, I don't. Okay, let's leave all the violent stuff out. But I'm just saying, you got an abusive woman. What would be a good course of action? Just verbally abusive.
Get it on video. Call the police. Have her put out the house. Don't let her back in. And your family might get upset. Her family might get upset. The Black community around you might get upset and saying, "What's wrong with you?" But all you're doing is locking in your fatherhood.
All right, so maybe I don't know the law. You can actually get somebody put out of their house for verbal abuse.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know that. All right.
And
that's the thing that us older men have to start teaching younger men who are getting into these relationships to save their fatherhood in the future. I think we have enough examples of Black men who have been destroyed and their fatherhood not respected. So we have to change the pendulum.
Let me go back to this though, Berlin. The only thing I would say, because I agree with what you just said, but that's not emasculation in any way. That's emancipation, right? That a man going against the grain like that is not an emasculating thing. I think that's emancipation. I think that's different.
What will society say about it?
Well, who gives a shit about society? If you're doing the right thing, who gives a shit about your neighborhood, your neighbor next door saying some bullshit? They don't.
You might get jumped. You might. Okay.
No, I hear you, but okay, I understand that, but would you advise, because of what the outside people might do to you, not to take action?
Of course not, but I'm saying that. Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm done. But I hear what you're saying. But you that's part of the bullets you have to take. If you're doing the right thing, you're going to take bullets from time to time. And
I don't think that many men are taking the role of verbal abuse, taking it as abuse, and dumping in our culture. What we were told by our uncles was, when a woman's being verbally abusive, man, you transfer that and you put it down and you give her some great sex. But that's not the way it's going anymore. and we have to. Is that not what your uncles told you?
That was when it was good back in the day, but now it's basically worthless.
My uncles didn't tell me shit.
It ain't worth putting up with no more, man. Like for real. You like, you can take that funky stuff on somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Exactly, especially when your kids are involved. If you have kids with a woman and she's being verbally abusive, she's poking you to try to make you make a mistake where you get triggered. She might even be slightly slapping you and women say it doesn't hurt. What she's doing is trying to make you make a reaction that ruins your fatherhood. And us as men, we have to start taking that seriously.
I agree with you. I agree with that.
Coach Ferg in the building, man. What's going on with
you? Coach Ferg?
How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing, man? Yeah.
What's happening, Coach Ferg?
Hey, man, why you leaving with those guys last night, man? You fucking Coach
You good,
Ferg,
man. I need you to come over and get them together, man.
Coach Ferg, did you get a chance to see any of the videos?
Yeah, I didn't see it all, but I did see the guy going back and forth with the woman and saying, you know, how he would, you know, what a man do is.
Let's play him again, man.
No, I mean, he can play.
Let him win. Just let him say whatever he wants to say.
You ain't got no power to let. You're not letting nothing. That's my whole point. And stop trying to act like you got power. You got no power. You don't let nothing. I let. You don't let. You're not running anything. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all is stop with the power stuff. You don't have power. You're weak. Here's the thing. A man of your size would never speak like you speak. He would never be talking allowing me and letting me because he knows that he'll get his jaw broken. Why is it that women weigh $110 talking about you're going to let, you're going to allow? You don't let anything. You don't allow anything. Stay in a woman's place. Like you told your kids, stay in a kid's place. Stay in a woman's place. Stop with the let. Don't let. You don't let nobody win. That's why y'all are alone. You don't let. You are to be dominated. You follow, you submit, you obey, you comply. Get familiar with those words. That's what it is.
Many white women on your page, and you
there it goes. You're so jealous of the white woman. Why are you jealous of the white woman?
About that. White
hey, no, real quick. Can you tell me why are you so mad at the white woman?
Approve you.
Real quick. Why are you so mad at the white woman?
I still respect
why are you so mad at the white woman?
Quiet, but I'm not. You're not over me.
This is an angry. I was waiting for her to stop. She just wouldn't stop. Let me tell you guys real quick. If you're ever wondering why is it that they start yelling and becoming so unruly, it's because the truth. You see, the truth is a potent medicine, and it brings the demon out of them.
You a leader all the time. It's like, are you trying to convince yourself that you're a leader?
You're talking to a real boss. You hear me? You're talking to one of them ones, and you acting like you talking to one of them regular off the street. It's crazy how y'all sit up here and talk to somebody who has great education, excellent professional experience, ran corporations across the country, did significant philanthropic work that I was awarded for, but you want to sit here and still won't submit. If she don't want to play her position, it's not because you're not a leader, it's because she is not a follower. The reason that you never find the man who's a good leader is because you don't know what a leader is, and you're looking for some fantasy of a man who's masculine, but he lets you run over him. You're looking for a fantasy of a man who will let you run his mouth, but somehow he's also the big dog at the same time. Impossible. That's why y'all end up alone, because you don't know what you're looking for. And when a real man shows up, you expect a real man to behave like a woman. You expect him to communicate like a woman. Mark, well, it's how you say it. Oh, you want me to talk like you? That's not gonna happen. Broad on the internet say, if my man tell me to delete my social media, I'm gonna delete him. You dumb broad, you would trade in a good man for an Instagram following from an Instagram account. You are dirt and you are for the streets. You are utter trash. And that I have to preach against. I will speak against. I will act against. And I might be the last one. I might be the last of the Mohicans, but we will bring an iron fist to that filthy thinking. And I promise you that when we reign, the world will be upright and righteous. The women will cover themselves up. The men will respect them and regard them because they have value. The children will behave and they will achieve. And you will see a revolution in the black peoples and all other peoples who follow the system.
You muted.
Oh, what's up, Coach Ferg? I heard you say,
I mean, listen, man. My mother had 6 sisters, man. All of them were married to real dudes. I never heard them yell at each other. I used to see them hugging and kissing. When I go visit their house, and baby looking like, ugh. My mother and father whatever disagreements they had, I never saw it where he had to verbally exert his, I guess, nature that, yes, he is dominant. Yes, physically, listen, it's some dudes who ain't stronger than the women's today, so I can understand their sentiment. But by nature, yes, a man should be able to do more push-ups and be stronger and put in the full Nelson and get her to submit in a certain way. But emotionally, I don't think, as far as 2025, the women ain't submitting to these men. Now, whether it's right or wrong, it could be wrong, biblically, but at the same time, both sides are not living according to the word. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't push that ideology on, only time my wife needs to submit to me is, in our intimate settings. I just need her to cooperate and work with everything that we're trying to do. That's the big thing to me. Cooperate, do her part. My wife, she has to do the inside. My wife can't cut a grass seed. She can't plant grass. She can't do nothing with the cars besides driving. I have to do all of that. And, it's conversations, but from what I'm saying, yeah, man, listen, man, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm not looking at it wrong, but I feel no need for a man to exert that dominance with a woman.
You're looking at it wrong from the standpoint of we're falling into the trap of what submission means.
Yeah.
Submission means all that soft shit your wife does for you, which you're not asking.
There you go.
That's submission.
That's it.
Yeah. But I shouldn't have to argue.
No. That's what I'm saying. Listen, it's all those soft things that your wife does for you. That's the submission that she's giving you. That's why you do all the shit that you do for her. Right? Well, my wife is, she's submissive to me, but it's not because I boss her around. She's submissive to me because she wants to be. I don't have to ask her for anything, man. She takes care of shit all the time. Right. And so the things that I do for her, I do because it's not just reciprocity. It's like, okay, I'm going to make sure I do my part. Right. But, so submission is cooperation. Or, on steroids. And it's just the intangible things that a woman in your life does for you that she won't do for anybody else. To me, that's submission. And we could go to the Bible and look at the passages in there. And somehow it's got bastardized by the modern society, mostly feminist women, that it means that you're some kind of slave.
Yep.
And we let that bullshit just keep perpetuating. That's not what it means. That's absolutely not what it means. Matter of fact, I'm not even a big Bible guy, but the women that they're talking about in the Bible are really dutiful women. They're not just like waiting for a man to come pluck them. What they talk about, the woman in the field, she got business this, she got all that kind of stuff, and she's still looking for a man that can. So I just think we play into it when you don't have to use the word submission if it really bothers you. But we shouldn't let people just mischaracterize what that means in a marriage.
But then you open in Pandora's box, because now you got women, when you say, oh, we're not going to say submission. I'm going to say submission because that's what the word says. Okay. Secondly, I'm also going to say the obey part too, because they've now taken that out of the vows. The women are not saying it. They don't want to say it. Women do not want to commit to any type of authority. We as men have to understand that we are the authority over these women. If you allow women to do so much stuff, you can say, watch out. And she's don't turn around and tell you, don't tell me what the fuck to do and get hit by a truck. Because you're allowing her to be so manly over you. She got so much power. I can't stand it. I'll be seeing men at the church and women, get that. And they just, okay. What? I just look at them. I just look at them. And it's them old niggas. It's them boomers. Yeah, boomers talking about happy life, happy wife. I'm telling you.
But BMU, here's the difference though. You're talking about people who going on their 40th and 50th year of marriage.
Miserable.
Most people, hold on, you can't say that because most men are easygoing. Now, most guys like you, they not even marriage minded. Well, most guys your age, let me say, they ain't marriage minded. They looking to be a transactional piece. They not trying to get married. They've already made up in their mind based off the woman that broke their heart or slapped them around, saying, I don't want a woman going forward. I'd rather just have fun. It's not going to have.
No, they're judging what the men have told us, what they've experienced in marriage. Men in marriage are not happy. Maybe a few that you. We have
you're
heard.
not happy. Hold up, you're not happy.
No.
I'm not saying.
Hold on. We got to be honest now. Marriage ain't something you're gonna be happy in every day. You have moments of joy.
But you're not happy most of the time.
But sometimes I'll be wanting to tell my wife, baby, go outside and talk to the dogs. I mean, goddamn, you get on my nerves. Listen.
But that don't mean you're not happy, brother.
But I understand that, but I'm talking about something more severe. Like the older marriages, 40, 50 years, those people were told to stay together no matter what. And so those men, I hear women and men who have been married for 30, 40 years in my own family, the women talk to them like they ain't shit.
Well, maybe it's the men in your family.
And the men.
No, that's men in general on a global scale, sir.
It's men in general. It's men in
Are
general.
you married, brother, down there? Are you married? Broken Berlin, have you been married?
Were you married?
No, I don't believe in marriage.
Well, how do you know that then?
Because I've been a bartender for over 25 years, and I've heard from both sides how they really feel about how they feel inside their marriage. From white, from black, from Asian, from Japanese, from all types of culture. When it really comes down to it, they are flipping miserable.
So
if you know a few people who aren't, then you found a few diamonds in the gym. In most cases, on a global scale, most men are not happy in marriage. In fact, I'll give this proposal. If you told men right now that in the next month, if you divorced your wife, you would get an automatic 50-50 custody without having to pay for it, and you would have zero child support and zero alimony to the woman. But after 1 month, if it's back to normal. So you have 1 month to get divorced and do this and get this deal. What percentage of men do you think would take that deal and divorce their wives right now?
I would say going with the national, I would say about 50-50.
Shit.
About 50-50. And then I would look at the age. Under 45, most of y'all probably run.
Shit.
But I'll say about 50-50.
Broken Berlin. What's the deal again? What you said it was?
The deal is you got 1 month to get a divorce. If you get 50-50 custody without having to pay for it, she gets zero child support and zero alimony.
Yeah, new stuff, man.
Boy, the divorce attorney's office and the courtrooms will be filled to capacity.
And that's what they will.
And it goes back to normal after 1 month. You only got 1 month to do this deal.
Oh, you let Donald Trump come on TV and say, "We're working on a deal, okay? Men don't have to pay any child support, 50-50, okay? You don't have to pay anything, no alimony, no child support, nothing, okay? All you got to do is do it in 30 days. 30 days. Shit. You're going to see men stopping on the side of the road running in that motherfucker. I'm telling you, what?
They'll be in their car with their wife and hit the brakes and just turn around to the.
Come on, man.
I heard a woman say this. I heard, what's her name? Crimson Cure said this.
Yes.
She said most men who are married are miserable. And she said, and she also said the only reason that those men stick around is because they know they got to start over financially. They're going to destroy them financially. They're going to put them in debt. And so most men don't want to deal with the debt and the financial struggle and losing everything, and they just stick around and be miserable.
Especially
losing the relationship with their children. That's the one thing we also forget.
Hey, there you go.
Most dudes over 40 would probably think that way, but younger dudes, they don't give a damn because they ain't married.
I ain't gonna say the 20-year-old.
After you spend 20 years, you get your kids off to college. Yeah, I can see that could be heartbreaking. Like, damn, I done built this. Yeah. But that ain't most people. It ain't most relationships. It's people
you really think that's the minority, sir?
I'm thinking, this is what's funny. Listen, marriage is not for every man because some men tell on themselves to me about the type of man they are because it takes discipline to be married. That's what it takes. It takes discipline. Sure. But it's amazing how men, and I'm not saying you, brother, who never really experienced that and are that type of man, like the way these guys would handle their relationships, I may be totally different, right? And I may, and that's what I'm saying. So, but I have to take it off how I handle myself as a man. And I believe when these guys stand up amongst other men, they wise see them as those men they need to be, not about how they really viewing women and how they responding to women. Wives don't stick around with husbands every time you look up. He's all in the woman's face. No, he has to be able to stand up and prove that he's a man amongst men. And to me, I expect my wife to love me for the man that I am, based off who I am, and not what I provide. But part of me is providing, protecting. That's just part of me. But I expect my wife to do the same. And you have to have these conversations. People just look at the physical. I'm just saying, listen, brother, and I'll be facetious when I say some stuff. Find you a sister, your complexion are darker, and you'll be all right. Don't go for the light skin, too bright skins, and they the ones that y'all going crazy. Find your common melanated sister with that like the jokes you tell and all of that, and you'll be fine.
I'll be fine.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
So wait, let's break this down. So if I find a woman like that, she will never child alienate me if the things go bad. If I make a mistake, you throwing your hands up like you have a solution. So I'm asking for your solution. But it's 50-50. You're saying that if I get a woman who's my complexion, then I'll be okay.
Listen, I'm just being funny with that. But again,
well, it's not a funny conversation, sir. I want a real solution.
But what I'm saying is who you are as a person, man. It's who you are as a person.
No, it's about the system it's about the system that you're in. And it's
are you talking about the system or are you talking about the person?
It doesn't matter. Women are going to be women. I think you need to go ahead and have children in the system that protects you the most. It doesn't matter what she is. Most men on a global scale are not going to grow old with the woman they have children with. That's just a fact. So in reality, you need to go ahead and probably what's up?
Let me insert something real quick. I'm right in the middle on this, right? We got to stop bitch niggas from talking too. And let me give you an example. I was at a conference. This is why I don't go to church conferences no more. I was at a conference where they had a marriage conference. I'd never go to another one. And the pastor was sitting there, and the man said, they had breakout groups, and the men all got together and the women all got together. And the man said to him, man, listen, I'm faithful to my wife. I love her. I love my wife. He said, but my wife and I have not had sex in 7 months. And it's been on and off like that since we had our last son. The pastor looked at this man and said, and you complaining that your wife not having sex with you and she gave you a child? Don't you know she have hormone issues after a baby? Don't you know her body go through changes? And you complaining that you not getting none? Why you can't respect your wife? I'm just looking at this nigga like, are you fucking I never said that shit to me. I'm gonna show your ass. But he kept talking about this shit. He was like, you don't tell your wife. He just going in on him. You don't disrespect your wife's body like that and all this. And I'm looking like, what? And he said, and then the pastor come back. The other dude came back and told the pastor. He said, but my son 13. He said, that still doesn't matter. Your wife's body went through a transition after she had your children.
That pastor's begging his wife. That's why.
What?
That pastor's begging his wife.
And that's what I be talking. And guess what? That's what I be talking about right there, Coach Ferg. Miserable ass niggas who just accept this shit. No man should go work all day, come home with a hard dick, and ain't got nowhere to put it. I don't give a god. If you're married, that pussy should be like 7-Eleven, open every day, at any hour, any time. The slushy should be ready. The machine should be on. There ain't no reason a man should have a hard dick and ain't got nowhere to put it. This is what I'm talking about. Miserable. It's a shame. If you went did a sex radar on some of these husbands, and you covered it over their head, and say, motherfucker ain't getting no ass. They not getting no sex or nothing, but they got to come in and pay the bills and take care of that. Oh, hell no.
Come on, man. So with the reputation that most men, listen, most brothers who are functional and ability to get some cake, they not walking around here just holding that shit in. They're not doing it. Most brothers are.
You talking about in marriage, or you talking about as a single man?
Well, single man, even single man, most single men they'll procreate some kind of way somewhere.
No, most men on a global scale don't have a chance to procreate.
Well,
sir.
Okay, so I'm sorry on the global scale. I'm talking about brothers.
Brothers in America. Most brothers in America actually die before they procreate.
For it. But they'll pay for
it. Most brothers in America die before they procreate or don't get to procreate. Sir.
Man, by 26, 5% of Americans are still virgins. Somebody,
That wasn't what I
95% of
said. I
Americans.
said most
He's
black
talking
men in
about
America
having
don't get a
kids.
chance to procreate.
Procreate.
But
having
okay,
kids,
I'm
not
sorry,
having sex.
but they having sex. At least they'll have sex once
They've
or twice.
had
not every
sex.
day.
They're not having sex.
They're
There's a
not having
difference.
sex. What Coach Word no more?
But-
Like back in the day when we were slanging dick from the free throw line, they're not doing this shit no more.
But again,
I
when
wouldn't
you
suggest you do it in this climate either.
Oh,
Yeah,
hell
yes.
no. Hell no.
but again, even let's just take the sex out of it, right? Because if a man he's building, my son is 22, and I'm finding out new stuff about him every day. Before he started getting out and exploring, really, because now he's a truck driver. He just got his CDL. He's been to California, Florida. He was on his way to Pennsylvania when I talked to him. He's going to all these places. He's talking to me about the things that he saw. He may have heard about while in school. He read about it, but now he's going to those places, right? And what he's not doing is focusing on. He's had experience with girls early on, so now he's stepped back and he's focusing on himself. And I asked him, I said, "You thinking about ever getting married?" He said, "I don't know. Maybe. I'm open to it down the road." He said, "But right now, I'm focusing on me." Right? Cool. But again, only thing I'm trying to say is, yes, not every woman that he runs into likes him. He only need one good one. It only take one time. And most people have sex. Most men don't have it regularly, but you've had the experience and you've been around women, and you just have to understand that it's not always going to be as easy. It's not. I don't have a. I'm just.
Can I ask a question?
But the
If
climate-
you're speaking to your
let me
son,
say this
what
real quick,
country
bro.
would you want him to get married in?
Right, because in this country,
It's up to him.
the climate that we
No,
in right
you're
now.
the father. It's not up to him. It's your
But I
job.
can't say-
That's your job, sir.
But if he goes to other countries, in order for him to get those top tier women, he's going to have to be a top tier man. He's going to get the regular village
Why does he
women.
want a top tier woman? You want to have a woman that's not okay. Fine, let's take it out. Okay, what state in America would you tell him to get married in?
I don't know. I can't say.
Why don't you know this? Go Missouri. Missouri is the one state in America that gives you the most rights as a father and damn near gives you automatic 50-50 custody.
Atlanta,
We
too.
have to start educating our young men about this. And as your
Okay.
role as a father, you have to let him know this.
Georgia.
Okay.
too.
Oh, hold on. I can understand that. However, he can have a baby in Missouri, right? And then the
I
woman
said
can
get married in.
Okay, married. Okay, but he's not thinking about getting married. So when he gets talking about getting married, that's good information to pass on. That's good information to pass on. But most men his age, between 23 and 43, they're not thinking about getting married.
Because they're not getting good counsel from men, getting good
But
advice.
no, it ain't about good counsel because you know the information.
Would you advise him to get married in California?
But I wouldn't advise him to
Why
get
not?
married.
Wait, why not? Why would you tell him not to get married in California?
Because I heard about the laws in California.
Okay, so you know about the negative. Do you know about the positive? We have to, if you want your son to get married inside of America, you have to give him the positives of where is the best case to get married. Honestly, the family court system is a fucking scam. You should, as an American, not want it. And if you want to marry a black woman, there's black women all over the world. Then get into a country that's going to, one, not jeopardize your fatherhood when the breakup happens.
Yes, and those men have to be willing to explore that part of the life too. They have to be willing to.
Where are those women at though? That's the question I be asking the old school niggas. Like,
where are they? Where are they in the Bible?
What you mean, the good women?
Yeah, where are the good women? What does the Bible say about those same good women?
The Bible says, a virtuous woman who can find one, she's rare. So ain't that many of them.
Right. So it's the same life we live in. They rare. That's
exactly. But if he said they're rare, look at the climate we're living in right now with sexual liberation. Women want to be more like men. Women talking to men in any kind of way. I don't even think there's no virtuous women in this in your son's age group. Ain't none. They all contaminated. They all contaminated. I'm telling you right now, they're all contaminated. I started, my oldest daughter went out to college, worst thing ever. My oldest daughter went out to college, she came back a different person. I said, whoa, what the fuck is going on with your mindset? I need you to fix that shit. What the fuck you thinking? You'd have been around the wrong people. That's what I told you. You'd have been around the wrong motherfucking people. What you talking about? Talking about women need to have their own rights. I said, what? I said, you're not my child. You need to go back out the door and come back in here. We don't do that feminine shit here. to get the shit. I don't know what that is. She talking about what you talking about? I need to have my own way of thinking. Bullshit. Don't come and bring that feminist shit here. No.
Do you think most fathers are teaching their daughters that?
No. But hell, I taught mine that she came back different.
Because they don't have the power to. Their wives check that shit.
Oh, they do.
Most fathers in the house can't actually father the way they want to father because the wife is micromanaging.
I ain't putting up with it, but they do. I ain't putting up with it.
But, man, let me be honest. You know what the problem is? The problem is that men don't know that they're in the machine. They seem to think that they know everything there is to know. But I assure you, 99% of men don't know that they're in the machine. They don't know what they're up against. And they sit up here and they think that if I just provide, it's enough. It is not. You have to develop yourself as a man using wisdom. Anytime you run across anybody who slights you in the slightest, cut them off. Don't deal with them, because if whatever weed you don't pull up, it's going to grow and it's going to sprout again at the wrong time. Yeah. So my thing is you're going to have to be decisive as a man. You got to know when to cut something off and when to let it go. But my thing is this: most men have no idea what system they're in. As a matter of fact, Thursday, when I do my show, I got a clip in the chamber right now that I've been working on since yesterday. And I'm not gonna play it tonight. I'm gonna play it Thursday because I want you guys to tune in. And it's gonna have all this information on how men are actually programmed to be obedient and women are programmed to be good. And it shows you the difference between why men don't see the trap coming and how they get manipulated into being docile, becoming mules for their wives. And then they give up who they are as a person, as a man. They have no ambition. After that, it's just a slow draining process. The only reason I'm not going to do it tonight because I don't want no damn pushback when I give it. And that's how I look at it. But when you tune in Thursday, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. The problem is these men don't know what system they're in. And that's the issue. Men, you need to start educating yourselves, and you need to start waking up and realizing if something stank, that means something dead. And that means you ain't doing enough investigating. And I think that's the problem. We don't have enough wise men out here telling men, hey, be careful. Notice the signs. What do you see? What does that mean? You see what I'm saying? That type of thing. Force men to use their minds to think instead of just go along to get along. Happy wife, happy life, and all this other foolishness. Why isn't that you as a man don't have a right to your own autonomy, your own dreams, instead of being just some passive wallet or ATM or human doing instead of a human being? You see what I'm saying? That type of thing. We're going to start asking real questions like that so we can put all this foolishness aside, because the problem is men don't realize they've been programmed to. Until you can actually point it out and show them to them, they're going to go along and get along because they're comfortable where they are, because they don't know what's on the other side of that box. But the beginning of wisdom is to understand that you're in the box. The beginning of wisdom is to understand that you don't have to stay in the box.
Hey, Coach Fur, I'm telling you, I feel bad for my son. I feel bad for your son. They ain't like they, Coach Fur. These girls different. These girls, Coach Fur, I'm telling you, like when they say they rare, I'm talking about, Coach Fur, your son will probably have to, if he start, how old your son right now?
22.
He probably won't find her until he's 35, 36. He got to search for about 16 years. He may not be able to find her nowhere. All these hoes have an agenda. Coach Fur, they got an agenda. Their mama's got an agenda. Their aunties got an agenda. You don't think the daughter, let me tell you something, my brother, I wish my brother, he on a cruise right now. I would have called him on the phone and see y'all can hear this. My brother's son played for Texas Tech, defensive tackle. He declined to go to the combine and say NFL ain't for him. I said, you big 6'3", 295, stock, strong motherfucker, gonna waste your career. He said, I just want to go into law. I said, oh, goddamn. Okay. Okay. I want to go to the NFL. Oh my God. Okay, just be quiet. So anyway, he was dating a black girl, right? And all the women in the family, oh my God, we like her. Oh my God. My wife told me, oh my God, she's so sweet. Oh my God. Oh shit. She's so fucking sweet. Oh my God. My brother called me. My brother said, hold on, bro. I said, okay. He put him on three-way. He said, man, I'm tired of this hoe, man. I can't do shit. She had my fucking phone. I wake up, she done locked herself in the bathroom with my phone. She calling me out my name. Nigga, what did he say she did? She went into his bank account because they was engaged, so they got an account. See, mistake. When the bank account took all the money out, to my, oh, you feel you going away for the weekend? You'll need all that money for the weekend and all that shit. What? I said, boy, you about to cut her loose. He told me, but what everybody else gonna think? I said, I don't want to hear none of that. I said, fuck it, what everybody else think. This is about you. Cut her loose. He stayed with her for another month or so. Next thing you know, he ain't with her no more. They broke up. All the women in the family upset. Oh my God, he taking y'all advice. Oh. And now guess who he with now?
You got a white girl now.
Yes, sir. And guess what? It the happiest he ever been in his motherfucking life. Listen to you. I'm telling you right now, I wish my brother wasn't on no cruise. He's the happiest he's ever been in his life. He said this girl don't get on his nerves. She ain't questioning him about everything. She ain't going in the bathroom, locking herself in with his phone. She respects him. He already met her parents. She met my brother and his wife. The girl is very, very, he said, he said, the reason I like her so much is because she does everything I want her to do, and I never, ever ask for it. And that goes.
But you gotta let him know though that white women know how to play the game long. They play the game longer, better. They still will turn the same way. When white women get angry, they use the system better than black women. Black women flip off on the first round. I
would agree.
White women know how to play the Game of Thrones and get what they want to get and then flip. So again, it's not about the white women are better, the black. It's the system. Whatever system gives women the incentive in the divorce and all these benefits, they're going to cash out. That's why, unfortunately, the best systems are those Muslim countries, because the women there, if they decide to divorce, first the kids go with the men, which is the way it's supposed to be, and secondly, their society shuns them for having a divorce. In a very strange way, the Muslim countries actually have more Christian marriages than in America, because they have a support system that upholds the marriage. The family structures on both sides will hold the women and the men accountable to maintain the marriage. And if the breakup even does somehow happen, then both sides of the family then ignore the partners and all pour into the children. And it's almost like the parents are shunned away from the family for doing this. That's very Christian when you actually understand what the Bible is. And again, I'm not a Christian, but I read it. That's more Christian than what we're doing in America.
Ooh. Coach Ferg, I know we didn't do, man. Coach Ferg, you all right?
Coach Ferg, you on his head, man.
Man, listen, man. Okay, so apparently, from what I'm hearing is black. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, man. Black men, y'all might not find your wife going forward in your life. Some black men may not find a wife going forward in their life, right? And I agree. You said 30 for 35. I think that would be a good age for him, because he's focusing on himself.
Right, but what? And that's the mistake we making, Coach Ferg. You said said it. He focusing on himself. Now, what happens if he build himself up to 35? He get married or find a woman, and everything he built into 35, she take it from him.
Well, if he's listening to me, then hopefully he would find a woman that has our pain in her life already. He connects with, he bypasses the big booty and a smile, and at least has some discernment about it. So say, hey, let me find a woman who at least has a father who speaks, at least that is accountable in their lives, at least, because other than that, you're going to roll the dice 50-50 anyway.
I just have
why not just have her get married to a black woman in Philippines? Again,
hold on. Before we go there, let me just say this. I have umbrage with telling somebody what the right age to get married. I think earlier is always better when the man's ready. When the man's ready. That's not 35 is a goddamn number. He might not be ready then, he might be. But I'm thinking if you have a woman that you want to be with, you gotta have time to mold her and shit. Y'all gotta go through some shit, man. And the younger the better. Because I just think that if you get married younger, I'm not saying 22, it could be 26, 27. Whatever your possessions are probably at the beginning of when you're starting to collect shit. And in the first 2 years, maybe I'll say hold off on having kids for a few years. Mr. Bennett talks about that. And if you'll break up, the breakup is not as dramatic. But when you're older, even men start to get set in their ways. And if a woman's older, she's goddamn certainly set in her ways. It's just harder to meld together, man. You gotta build together young and go through some shit. And if you're guided with the right principles, you can make it through some hurdles. And these hurdles we keep talking about, what's the real hurdles for a woman or a man? Really, either having sex with people on the outside or listening to assholes. The rest of that, if two people get together, right? The world is the world, and you get educated. It's up to you to let the shit in or keep it out, right? I mean, you can't keep absorbing the negative shit and expect it not to happen, not to hold you, right? Not to impact you. Like me and my wife, man, nobody got into our fucking business, man. It wasn't just me saying it. She didn't let it happen. I didn't let it happen. We didn't have nobody telling us how to be married and you should do this and you should do that. We took care of our own kids. We did all that kind of shit, man. And we kind of grew together because we were both in the 20s.
You also grew your love without the age of distraction, sir.
Well, no, hold on.
You grew your love in. Okay.
Hold on, no. I hear people say that, but everybody acts like the world wasn't in motion in the 80s. It was.
Not the way it is now, sir.
No, hold on, wait, hold on. The world was always in motion. There's always distractions. It's through AIDS, it's through this, it's through that. I lived in the 60s. They were killing motherfuckers left and right. They were killing presidents. They were killing. I mean,
yeah. So women wanted to get married in the 60s because they actually needed a real protection. It was a different.
No.
Okay.
So you can't dismiss the fact.
I'm not dismissing it. If you allow me to maybe 30 seconds, I'll frame it out and then you can respond. If you just give me 30 seconds.
So much about you because you started about saying
maybe you haven't heard it from me, sir. Maybe what I say might be different.
You haven't let me finish because I've heard it all before. Because when I
maybe what I say is different.
The world is so different. Like
you don't want to hear me. That's fine. All right.
I've heard it 1,000 times.
Again, you haven't heard it from me, sir. Maybe what I say might be different.
I'll listen to you after I finish my little diatribe. And I'm not going to say nothing when you speak.
No, your point should be fluid. You should be able to pivot, and it's the art of conversation, sir.
No. Well, you didn't let me finish getting my point out because you started with it was a different time.
Well, I'm challenging your point. You're gonna keep dropping point after point after point after point after point, and I think it's better to actually dissect each point that you're making. You had about 4 points before I said anything, or am I tripping?
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, man.
Thank you.
But go ahead, man. I'm gonna listen to you, and I'm not gonna be combative. Go ahead, man. Say what you gotta say.
Okay. You grew up in a time and you grew your love without the age of distractions. So you fostered a love that maybe she is more fulfilling for you or she loves you in a different way. But young men these days are not getting that sort of thing. And I'm sorry, you said that you keep a lot of things outside of your relationship. Okay, but these young men are having to deal with television. And so that's a distraction. And when she's watching the reality TV shows, that's going to plant seeds that might hinder your marriage. Maybe your wife doesn't consume that because, again, you grew your love without the age of distractions. But most women have already been groomed in the age of distractions. So these seeds are already in them.
Can I say something now?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want now. I'm done.
Okay. I'm telling you that you have a recency bias because I lived in the age of distraction as well. It might be different. Every fucking century, the age of distraction is never gone. One of the things we made a choice. I mean, this is a small thing. But when I say not letting shit in, we used to go to bed at night looking at the news right together. And then all of a sudden we found Seinfeld, right? It's the reruns. Instead of looking at the negative shit on the news, we went to sleep laughing, watching Seinfeld. That's what I mean. You could let energy in no matter what the time is. There was always some badass, nefarious people in all ages. No, it wasn't the same now, but But hey, listen, the black folks.
I still say that you built it in the 80s. What era did you fall in love in? The 70s or the 60s? When you met your wife?
It was in the 80s.
Okay, so you met your wife in the 80s, correct?
I'm not disputing the fact that we have information overload today, but the same.
It seems like you are.
No, I'm not. I'm just trying. You're trying to tell me that I didn't have
I'm just saying you have a different experience that maybe it's less than 3% of men in their marriages. Because one, we can speak about great divorces. The men in your age are getting divorced like hotcakes anyway. So you have something that is completely different than what most men have. Most men in your age bracket are getting divorced, and their women are cashing out. That the great divorce phenomenon. You've heard of it, correct?
They married those chicks back in the day. If they're my age, they married those chicks back in the day, right? These are like, right. So my peers, a lot of my peers are divorcing each other. Why? Why are
because they're
doing
tired of each other. The women are tired of them. It's that simple.
That's another.
And there's a lot of benefits in divorcing. And honestly, as a culture, we don't teach women don't want to grow old with a man. They don't want to take care of a man as he gets older. That's the truth of it. So they rather go ahead and cash out. And then also when women hit menopause, their sexual drive goes through the roof. And as men, ours goes the other way, unless we're taking a bunch of heart attack dick pills. So everything is counterbalanced. So the women want to have a cheat. They want to be able to cheat and get with the young man with guilt free. And so they're going to go ahead and divorce and cash out and then go live and go get all these young boys that they want to go get. And that's the reality of this in this world right now. And it's not even a black community thing. It's a global thing now.
No, listen, what you just said is true in some percentage. That's exactly right.
In most percentages, sir.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, when you start,
okay, who disagrees with what I said? Do you guys think that the majority or minority?
Brother, I need to ask you I need to know your age first.
I'm 42.
Okay, so yeah, I can understand. Go ahead.
You can understand what? Listen, my whole thing, hey, Berlin, what I'm saying is you're not wrong, but you're making these absolute statements that
I'm not making it. I'm saying it's the majority. I didn't say all. I said it's the majority.
I don't know if it's the majority or not. The majority out of what we start to need to give. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but and just like the point where some women go through menopause, they become more sexually active. Some of them don't want to have sex at all.
Because they don't want to have sex with the man that they're with. They want to have sex.
No. Some of them
still want to have sex with the man that they're with.
No. You're adding that. Some of them actually after menopause don't want to have sex. They want their sexual drive goes down as well.
Do you think that men that need Viagra would need Viagra if a pretty young thing came up to them trying to seduce them, or they actually need Viagra because they actually have an overweight wife they're not really sexually attracted to?
Now we're talking about the men's side. Now we're not talking. You said the woman menopause is different, right? Yeah, the men with the dick pills, for whatever reason, you're out of shape, blah, blah, blah. It's going to happen, in different variables for different men. Some of us get
the women want to have sex. They just don't want to have sex with the man that they're with.
Some of the women don't want to have. Some of the women, you're right, but to say that every woman through menopause,
I'm not saying every. I'm saying majority. You're doing the same thing that a lot of women do when they're saying when someone makes a point, they're saying, well, not all. You're doing the exact same thing right now, sir.
Okay, I'm saying, well, let me use your fucking term. I don't know if it's most women or not. I know that there's enough women who say their menopause kind of curtails their sex drive. Then you add it because they don't like the man they're with. I mean,
that's a logical statement.
No. But that's your supposition. Though. That's just your opinion.
How do I? You asked me, how do I know that? You want me to answer that, or was that a rhetorical question?
No, answer it.
Hold on a second. Broken Berlin. Okay. Let me explain to you what's really going on.
Okay.
On Trey Ferg's and our pain side, they're talking about women who have discipline. And those women are not easily distracted. So it's easy for them to listen to their husbands because they were already disciplined enough to listen. The problem is that we're trying to find women today who are as equally as disciplined to listen to their husband like you. I think that is the source of frustration. And I don't blame you because it's a far few between that there are women who are actually more disciplined because we get more pushback on what's right than what's wrong. And to me, I think that speaks to how those women are not disciplined. They're not disciplined enough to do what's right. They had a Facebook discussion about women wearing too tight fitted clothes to be teaching in school. You know what I mean? And they had a whole bunch of women saying she can't help how she's shaped. But then the women who are classy was like, no, you need to get you a shawl or something, or what they call a butt cape and cover that up. She said, you don't understand what you're putting these little boys through. He said, no wonder they can't read because they're easily what? Distracted. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
maybe she has the wrong job.
Hey, you know, she went to school. She can do the job. She should be able to do it. But my thing is this.
Why she had the wrong job?
My thing is,
She's good at. You want me to answer that, or do you want me to answer that? Wait, Coach, don't make the face. Do you want me to answer that or not?
Yes.
Okay, if she's got a body that's banging like that, right, and she doesn't want to wear a shawl, then maybe she has the wrong job because her job as an educator is to do what?
Educate.
Teach.
Okay, so if she's a distraction to her own education, then what should she do?
She should cover it up.
If she doesn't want to cover it up, then what should she do?
She need to find somewhere else to work.
Thank you. That's logical.
Because she's
you
out of
shaking
line.
your head at logic.
She's not being aware of what the situation entails. You see what I'm saying? Even women, even Muslim women, when they go to the job, have you ever go to the gym? Have you ever seen their workout outfits? They have their hair, all that stuff covered. Yep. They got all. I mean, I'm talking about they got their hijab on. They got on tight fitted stuff, but you can't see up under it. You know what I mean? And they still work out because they understand.
They go swimming in it.
They understand. They have wisdom. People around them enforce wisdom. Our problem is our society enforces ratchetness, and they reward ratchetness. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And the problem is that we try to push back and say, "Hey, look, that's not right." And then they shame you and say you shouldn't think that way. But my thing is, who gets to tell you how to think? All we're saying is that the results that you're putting out here does not work. It doesn't work. And then when you find women who push back against that, those women speak loud and clear. They're saying, we're not the women you need. Please move on. And that's the issue. You have to go through enough numbers. It's unfortunate that we have to go through so much more numbers now than we had to do back then.
That I agree with. That I agree with.
Yeah,
100%.
because we have more of a society that reinforces good behavior versus bad behavior, whether it's by advertising, whether it's by influencing.
You have it the other way around.
Right. It should have been. Yeah, it should have been. But my thing is this, there have always been distractions. It's just that we have more to deal with. And the killing part about it is most people in most situations don't know they've been indoctrinated until somebody takes the time out to explain to them, say, hey, look, you kind of messed up, you're leaking, and here's why. Right. And if they're logical enough, if they're thinking, they can, look at reason. When you point to reason, they can say, you know what, you're right. But if you get to somebody who doesn't understand exactly what it is, and they refuse to, is this really somebody you want to deal with in a close, intimate setting on a regular basis? You really don't want to deal with somebody who doesn't use logic or emotions or common sense. You don't want to be in close quarters with somebody like that. You're asking for trouble. And that's the reason why I said earlier, men have to use wisdom when they're starting to decide who they're going to use for a mate. And the killing part about it, in order for you to do that, you have to override your sexual mindset. You're going to have to override it. There's a place and time for everything. But when you selected a mate, that's the last place you want to choose from. You want to choose from somebody who actually gives a damn about you, regardless of whether or not you have sex or not, regardless of whether or not you do something for them or not. You see what I'm saying? Those are the genuine people that you keep. And then when you keep it, you give it all you got. That's all I'm saying. I'm not pushing against marriage. I'm just saying you let wisdom be your lamppost and your guide, so that way you can select the right person, so you don't go down the pathway of all these other guys who are getting divorced and getting their children taken away and getting half of their money taken away. I would rather you be wiser on the front end than on the back end. But in order to do that, you got to listen to guys who are greater than you, even including myself. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me. Listen, the vetting list is a whole lot longer today, no doubt about it. You got to have the social media conversation. You got to have those kind of things, especially the relationship between a woman and her social media. Because if they need the attention that comes out of that, I would think twice about marrying. Sure. And that kind of stuff. So, one of my daughters, she absolutely has no social media presence at all. She has an account, but she doesn't do anything on it. Yeah. So she tried to, like I said, I think sometimes it's what you let in. There's more stimuli today. There's more chances, like you said, Berlin, of bullshit getting in. But the choice is still the same. How much of that shit will you let into your marriage, and how much you won't? It's just more of it. You got to just say, listen, the umbrella around our marriage, if you get married, has to repel a whole lot more shit than in my day. That's the way I would say. But there was always shit that you had to repel. Today is a lot more, but it's always still a choice. It's a choice.
You're absolutely correct. How would you protect your son or daughter from seeing porn when they're growing up?
Well, if you give them a phone, for example, or access to a computer, you got to put certain controls on it. But then that only goes to whether they can get into a library and all that. My whole thing is that if I could instill enough in them, they wouldn't want to do that kind of shit. I had daughters. I didn't have a son.
Okay.
But it probably would be a whole lot harder for a boy to keep them from porn than maybe a girl. But that might not be true. But
up until a certain age, yeah, that's true. Up until a certain age, you can sort of dictate information that they receive. 14, 15 and over, you can't really prevent your son from watching porn if all of his friends got porn. Even in the day when I was younger, when you didn't have no cell phone, you pull up on somebody's house, a dude be like, man, look at this tape. What is that? So you can't really protect. What you can do is inform them about those things, those pitfalls that you can get caught up in, and hopefully that you had enough conversation with your child outside of myself. And one thing my father did, he always had those tough conversations with me on a regular. Even when I didn't want to listen to it, he catch me in the car. I'm looking out the window, but he's telling me, see that? Don't do that. See that? Don't do that. He had those tough conversations. And by default, one of the best people to give you that information is father. If you don't get a lot of these nuances about relationships, I learned about women through my mother. She the one told me how women were. And my mother was 30 years older than me. But she told me about, hey, look out for this. And when I got out and started dating, I looked out for those type of women, and I didn't entertain that. They was looking so good. I used to look at them like, man, if only she was the way my mother said she should be, she would. But I didn't waste my time with that because I knew that if I put my energy, I've always had a helpful energy into a woman that I can look back and see that, oh, she always got her hand out. Oh, she always got man in her face. But I think, oh, I'm different. And I go over and waste time with her. And then she show up and let me know that I'm just another dude. I can't be mad at her. I can't be mad at her. It was me. I should have chose better. That's me. But the guys today don't have that.
Okay.
To answer your question,
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. To answer your question,
it's not about choosing better. It's again, the reason I brought up that analogy is because, and Coach, you hit it right on the head. It's the support. It's the peer group that's going to end up showing it to them. I say the same thing for women. If the peer group of women is a Jezebel spirit, then no matter what is going to influence her. So it's the same thing with your like, no matter what, my son's going to end up seeing it eventually because you know that somebody's going to end up putting it in his eyes. You know,
let me explain it.
It's the same thing with the Jezebel spirit, especially in our community. We love that and we champion that. So unless the sisterhood is actually going to start unifying and rebuking this Jezebel spirit that we have consumed as a culture, then you have to pick a woman that is outside of that Jezebel spirit. And that community.
Who could resist it.
Hold a second. Before you go on, here's the thing. This is how you do that. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the Jezebel spirit. What you have to do is you got to program your children not to listen to everybody else, regardless of what spirit shows up. And you got to be real with your kids. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, just don't do this. If I had a son and I found out he was looking at corn or whatever, I would tell him, I said, look, let me explain something to you. I'm going to sit you down right now. Sex is something that you use for your wife, and it is a good thing when you have your wife. But if you watch this stuff early on, it's going to rewire your brain for the wrong stuff. And you're going to think that that's the right way because it makes you feel a certain way. But what it does, it creates in you an appetite for a 304. And my thing is a 304 will bring ruin to you. So my thing is don't watch this because it's going to rewire your mind. If you tell a child exactly why you're doing something, so when it does happen, they'll be like, you know what, Dad was right. Or they'll make the decision, you know what, I remember what Dad said, that's bad, I ain't gonna do it. You have to arm your kids with wisdom and not fear, because it's easier for them to make a decision with wisdom than it is with fear.
You're absolutely right. We have a community in our age bracket that didn't have the fathers. We had the uncles and the tip. We had BET Uncut. We had the rap videos, you know, and we grew up fantasizing about getting those types of women. We had the booty talks when we were 20 years old, the booty talk DVDs, you know, we fantasized about being with those types of women. So then when we met those types of women, we got with those types of women, and now we're dealing with the consequences of being with those types of women. You just got to connect the dots. But our uncles, they didn't tell us, no, see, our uncles told us, like, yeah, they told us great stories about being with those types of women. And that was their mistake. So we have to change the pendulum. Now that we're the uncles, now that we're the fathers, we have to, because if we don't, what is this going to turn into? We already see the consequences of us not having that right programming. And so many men have been destroyed by picking Jezebel spirit type women, you know, and unless we actually flip the script, admit our programming, admit our wrongs, admit that we did this the wrong way, and actually are honest with our children about actual solutions that make sense. It's not about just saying, well, marry the right woman. No, we have to get ahead of the curve, because the system is they're already 5 generations ahead of us. They have something planned that is so diabolical, it's ridiculous. And when our kids are grandparents, we have to start thinking that far. Like, what code do we give our kids so that when they're grandparents, they can give their grandkids the right programming? We got to think ahead of this.
You have to teach your kids to have an appetite for wisdom. That's the only way. That's the only way. And you know why? Because if you teach them to have an appetite for wisdom, you're teaching them to think for themselves. So no matter what they come up against, they'll know, hey, that's not right. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to choose to do right. And what happens is when you get a bunch of people around each other who choose to do right, that's safety in the multitude of counsel. And we don't talk about that. It's the same way there's destruction in the multitude of foolishness, but we don't talk about that. That's the main reason why you see a bunch of women getting together and they keep having these echo chambers about, girl, don't do this and don't do this and other. All of them are ruined. You know what I'm saying? Bad company ruins good company. So that's the main reason why you have to make sure that when you get around certain people, you don't kind of let that leak in. You know what I mean? You got to make sure you have to use and teach your kids wisdom. But in order to do that, you got to make sure that you do inventory on yourself. And I think that's the problem with a lot of men today. They think they know everything and they don't know nothing. They don't know, man. The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. And I think that's the issue, man. That is the issue. Learning that you don't know everything is when the rest of the world opens up to your mind. You'll be introduced to a whole lot of different stuff, and you'll learn more if you humble yourself. Our problem is that we don't like to be humble. We don't. And especially we don't like to be humbled by somebody else. So that's the issue. The thing is, you have to seek out wise counsel. And that's the best way to do it, because there's safety in the multitude of counsel.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. It's hard to find wise counsel in men whose marriages you don't respect. When you see these elder men in their marriage and they're telling you about this is the right way, and you see how their women treat them, it makes logical sense to disregard their wise counsel because they're not living a lifestyle that seems fair, logical, or even good for your mental spirit. It seems like a prison.
About that, I'm explaining something to you, Brooklyn. The good thing about it is you don't have to shop at that store.
Did you hear what I said?
You don't have to drink from that cup. You don't have to listen from that man and that couple. You can choose to listen to somebody like Arpain. You can choose to listen to somebody like Coach Ferg. You know what I mean? Somebody who's been married for a long period of time. These guys have respect from their women. You see what I'm saying? They don't go around, they're not in the streets twerking. Okay. They're not giving them a hard time. And you know how I know that's good? Because they always speak highly of their husbands. And these guys always speak highly of their wives. That is a clue to let me know that these guys are content and they're satisfied. But the question is, you got to ask them what makes them content and what makes them satisfied, and start to ask those particular questions and clues and pick their brain and find out exactly how they see the world. You see what I'm saying? Everybody has their own perspective, their own rose-colored glasses. Ask them to borrow their glasses from time to time to see what they see. That way it'll help you to do what you do. That's the main reason why I let you talk and listen, because I wanted to see what you saw. And I understood exactly.
I saw
what
men
you
crying
saw.
my entire life from this marriage shit.
Exactly. I know. I done seen it, brother. You know what I'm saying?
No,
That's the main reason why.
listen, we didn't have therapists back in the 90s and early 2000s. It was the bartender, the barbers, and strippers.
Right.
Those three strippers got to hear the real stories of how men felt in marriages.
Right.
Bartenders got to hear the real stories about how men and women felt in marriages. And barbers got to hear how men felt it. And then the salon women. So that's the four. Those four subsections of they heard the truth.
Right. But like I said earlier, what cup you decide to choose from, how your thirst gets satisfied. It's called confirmation bias. What you're looking for, you'll find.
So it's got to find me a good old light skinned chick that want same complexion, and I'll be okay.
Whoever said that, you might want to listen to them.
He wasn't listening. He know what he want. He know what he want.
Whoever said that, you might want to listen to them.
All right.
You want one of them good hairs. You want some of them long wavy hair. You want that.
No, I want a Black Panther chick. I'm jealous I ain't got no hair no more, so I want a bald chick. I don't want no chick with hair around me making me mad.
I will tell you this: there are some good women out there. I mean, there are some amazing women out there.
I think there are good women, but I think there's better systems, and I think it's easier to go ahead and put yourself in the system that doesn't reward divorce.
Well, that's your
put
right.
yourself in a system.
Right. Yeah, you get to choose what store you want to go to. That's your right as a man. Remember that. You always have the choice, no matter what somebody else says. Remember that.
So,
that's your life.
Coach, I'll say this because, again, you said you have a son that's 22. There are a plethora of black women on this side of the world who want American men, but the black men rarely stay over here. And the infrastructure over here with socialism, they want to keep families together because that makes the system work better. Whereas in capitalism, the system works better to break families apart. That actually makes them more money. So there's a large subsection of black women who in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam. Oh my God. So there's conversations that say, hey, if you want, I'm not saying he needs to get a white girl. I'm not saying that at all. If you want to be with a black woman, get with a black woman in a system that benefits you as an American black man. Because we won the war, I have more father rights than German men have when I had when I broke up with my ex, because we won the war here. So when she tried to do certain things that work with German men, my lawyer was like, whoa, hold up now, because this American man is trying to stay. He gets a different outcome than what other people get. We have to start thinking outside the box. And if your son wants to have children or wants to be married, there are other countries that will absolutely uphold him in a positive way to make sure that marriage works. America is not one of them.
Yeah. I totally listen. I don't dispute anything that you said. Yes, by the laws we've been under the last 70 years, they are not beneficial to the hard-working man. However, my brother our pain had strong men in his family, right? And those fathers, whether we saw it or not, they stood strong for the family despite what other family. The last person you want to come talk to about how to run his household was my daddy. He would have cussed you out, your grandmama out, and everybody in your family told y'all go to hell. So only thing I'm saying is if I claim that I am this type of man, again, I don't have to go to the library anymore. I don't. The information on how to be a good man is all over the internet. It's all over YouTube. They got books out. Take bits and pieces for that and apply that for yourself. I can't assume just because you wrote a book on how to get the women and be rich that I'm going to be rich because I read your book. I have to be able to apply that. And I'm just saying is, as a man, single man, you're putting in your work, you're doing what you got to do. And the information I'm saying best comes from the father of the boy. of the young man. If it go, when I come to him, it's almost late. I'm not saying it's too late, but I might have to spend 20 sessions of this type of information, and I have to show him instead of just always talking. The father can talk to you, and you'll think about that shit one day, like when you had that first experience, like, damn, I see what daddy was saying. Because everything he used to tell me, I mean, you too old, man. Ain't nobody doing that. Man, as soon as I get out, here it is happening. Like, damn, he did, daddy, you know what? What you said, that was true. See, we act like it's a new game out here. Yes, it is, because again, elders, from me, my experience, they serve something greater than themselves. That's the thing. They serve greater than themselves. Mothers, there's always been single mothers raising 6'5", everybody across the board. Those guys be just as polite. Hey, Miss So-and-so. Hey, Mr. So-and-so. They voluntarily will come, rake leaves, shovel snow, do all that. And the mother, you see the mother, she 5'3", like, damn. But the mother, she understood the greater mission outside of herself. Now, I will agree, a lot of women dating, they're eligible your age in America, they're self-centered because society has said focus on self. Focus on self. You can do it without a man. That sounds good. It sounds good.
They're self-centered here too. Don't get it twisted.
But that's what I said. In
America,
self-centered, right? So now again, it's almost like it's a lost tribe within a tribe. It's a lost group of young men over the last 20 years have really been lost on who they are. Their self-confidence has been worn down. They've been told that you're not the best. You're not good enough in any capacity. But when you start breaking it down, brothers ain't really doing that bad. One of the biggest issues we have is with our women. But there's no shortage of sex out there. There's no shortage of babies being born.
I think because we keep thinking there are women in the first place. They're not ours.
Well, not our women, you know what I'm saying? But again, so if they're not ours, then we should be able to pick and choose and leave a woman when we see fit.
Without penalty, without her wanting to destroy your name in a narrative. That's the way it should be. But unfortunately, in the system that is this global system now, when you want to be done with a woman who's not treating you right, you have to incur some serious penalties.
Okay,
and that's not even close to fair, is it? When you are trying to be the bigger man and say, let's go ahead and Oklahoma Public School, hold up. Part equitably. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna try one more time. Part equitably destroyed that. But you know, you know what I'm trying to say.
We got you, man.
When you try to break up, dumb that shit down. You have to deal with the wrath, the narrative, and the penalties of a woman when you try to break up. That's why I think sometimes it's better to just go into the society that doesn't even allow that kind of shit to fester in the first place. They can't flip out here because in this system, they have to deal with certain penalties for destroying your property. They can't flip out here and tell lies because here you can get hit with liability and slander for telling lies in the court of law. Like, it's a different system. So the women here have to behave in a different way because they are not rewarded for doing all the. When men get divorced, this happens in America. The women might just make the implication, I think he touched the kid the wrong way. And all of a sudden now the father is dealing with a whole. If they tried that over here, oh no, if they don't have some real sort of evidence and she makes that claim, she'll lose the kids and the kids will go with the father. It's a completely different system.
Yeah,
that
JT
does protect men.
Say something because he's perfect over here.
Go ahead.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, we can hear you. What's up, JT?
No, I'm sorry about that. I'm on my phone, bro. One of the things I gotta say that is a huge problem is that these grown women, and they were kids, they wasn't around their fathers enough. So when you hear these talking points that these young men talk about getting a woman to be submissive and to get along and all these different things, the reason why you're not going to be able to do that because a lot of these women don't have a level of respect for their fathers. They've heard everything from a woman's perspective all the way until they got to be grown. This is why you will have a bunch of these women running rampant. And they're not, when you talk about the older women, they're not talking to the younger women like they're supposed to. What are they saying? Yes, queen. You go, girl. We turning up. And they think it's it's a beautiful thing that their daughters get a chance to get out here and be free. So this is where we have a problem. So when you're talking about trying to get a woman to submit and all that, first and foremost, the only one that's going to submit to you will be your wife. But then again, with these young men, the reason why they're having the problems they have is same problem. They ain't been around their daddy. They haven't been around their fathers. So they get the same thing. This is why we have so many young men right now that's out here wanting to be a bad bitch. This is why we have so many young men, even in our Pains and mine and Coach Ferg's generation. The streets was catching a lot of these dudes because their daddy wasn't there. So now we got a different generation that's sitting back and they don't know what the heck is going on. But their whole thing is, well, shit, my only answer is now is that the boomers and the Gen Xers fucked us up. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. Because everybody didn't get the same, they didn't have that same background. But they're borrowing each other's pain. Even the ones that was raised with their mother and their father, they sit back and have the same grievances. That shit is crazy to me. At the end of the day, it does go to a point of dick discipline. It does go to a point of being a person to be able to vet as hard as you possibly can. We talked about this before. It is about getting to the word direction. Because if you ain't gonna listen to the elders, then who you gonna listen to? One another? That don't make no sense. If you're not gonna listen to the directions that's in scripture, who you gonna listen to? Dr. Phil? Ain't it funny that when we hear the young folks, and this is some strange stuff, our pain, Coach, Loss, you hear 30-year-olds, when they get to talk about dating, they use Oprah Winfrey, Jay-Z and Beyonce. They use all senior citizens and Gen Xers as this whole thing where that's what their mind is. Oprah Winfrey is what? Damn near, ain't she 70? Why are we talking about Oprah Winfrey? She's a senior citizen. Why are we talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce? They AARPs. Because y'all lost. That generation is lost. You don't want to listen to nobody when we're telling you something. You think we all got the same talking points, and y'all have elder fatigue. I end it there, man. I end it.
Elder fatigue.
JT, you ain't shit. Elder fatigue.
These old folk. JT,
No, he has a fair point. Maybe elder fatigue is a real thing. From us growing up as children, having to hear elders in church, and then seeing how hypocritical they were in reality when they were doing ill things in the church and smashing our 17-year-old babysitters. Maybe when you connect the dots, and we've been hearing from elders and seeing how hypocritical they were, and then as we grew up and seeing our elders deal with the penalties and the trials and tribulations of being in relationships and marriage, and then also witnessing our elders who we knew were fairly good fathers, and then when the breakup happened, the narrative and the machine destroyed them, and then nobody came to their aid. Because it's not like Hell's Angels where if a man's doing something bad to the kid, the woman can either call the police or she can call the Hell's Angels, and they'll hold that man accountable whoever they do it. But there's no female Hell's Angels that will go up on women and say, hey, you're not letting him see his kids we're going to take care of that. So we grew up and saw that there's no support system for men in these kind of situations. And then also some of the men grew up in divorce and seen how their fathers were pushed aside, even though maybe they didn't want that. Or we're a generation of seeing dysfunction, and we don't want to maybe jump into the dysfunction.
Would you say that it's
Doesn't that make logical sense?
it's a
I mean, I broke it down from childhood to teenager to college age until adult. Do you see why people in my age gap are like,
I don't, because my thing is that there's way
that
more.
didn't make wait, what I just said right there, none of that made sense.
Oh no, it does make sense.
That makes sense, man.
Push back to it. That's all.
Okay.
This is the thing. There are way more better people than the people that are not. That's why I was saying that a lot of people in the younger generation is borrowing other people's trauma, and they're wearing that jacket as it's their own. There's no way that you can tell me that boomers were majority bad parents and X was majority bad parents. There's no way you can even get that off where that no, there's no way, and I argue that all the way down.
You want me to go ahead and challenge that?
We've been navigating through a system.
Wait, sir. You just said that there's no way I can, and I absolutely can. Do you want me to challenge that, or you want me to wait?
No, go ahead.
Okay. A lot of men were taught, and there's many times, and especially in our generation, men were taught to just go out there and provide. And as children, all the children wanted was time with the father. You follow me so far? And men took this ideology of, I got to work all these crazy jobs to provide for this family, even if it allows me not to spend time with my child. Are you with me so far?
Yeah, I'm with you.
I can't. Hello?
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
Okay. So what really should have been the case was we needed to reject capitalism as a community and minimize. And fathers should have done that with their wives and gotten trailer homes and got a regular job, but been spending as much time with the kids as possible, because that's what the kid values. I know many millionaire men who worked a whole lot of hours and gave their kids a great life, and their kids hate them because the kids don't know them. Like how Coach had put in the chat earlier, I don't know if he said, do young boys respect their fathers or do people respect fathers? He posed a question.
This young man.
And yeah, do most young men today respect their fathers? No, they do not, because they don't know them. They only know of them. They know that they provided, maybe if they did. They know that they gave them some, memories a little bit, but they didn't spend the time molding those young men the way that they needed to be molded. Those young men were molded by television, molded by music, molded by the streets, molded by the peer group that was around them. They weren't molded by the father and their uncles and their cousins the way it's supposed to be in actual tribalism. They were molded by the Matrix. So in that sense, they don't respect their fathers.
Well, let me ask you this question. What did the caretaker say about the fathers? Because those
I didn't hear you again. Maybe I'm glitching out. Let me hold on.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's why I asked him. I was like, who did the caretaker say their father was? Yeah, that plays a part too. You know what I mean?
He'll be back. Listen, I don't even want to get into the conversation. I think we're just looking at the law of numbers.
Right.
And when everybody says that the baby
I'm still here. I'm just turning my camera off because it was glitching.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I'm still here.
Oh, you stopped speaking. All right, listen. I'm gonna just say this: there was 76 million baby boomers. The one thing that was true is that there's a certain portion of the baby boomers that might have been bad parents. That's just low numbers. But this blanket statement that everybody keeps making to justify why people are fucked up today is because of the baby boomers. It's just. I can only concede that there was enough baby boomers who did bad shit to make a difference, but to act like that's some kind of shield for people to do stupid shit today, it's just not right. It's just not right. And as far as talking about capitalism and any other system, listen, with all the flaws of capitalism, I don't think there's a better system to live under than the one we live under, because it promotes individuality, rewards for your efforts. If I could do better than the next guy, I should get better rewards than the next guy. Any system that denies that is a broken system.
Right. And the
I
problem with
disagree. Have you spoken to fathers who work in socialism?
Listen, our system is good, but we got thieves at the top. And that's the problem. They're not putting to use what we give them. And that's when we have to start running them out of office. That's the issue. But you're right, our system is pretty good. We just got the wrong people that's in charge of it.
Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah,
I would say for fatherhood, the socialism works way better. Do you know anything about socialism, or are you just kind of, or if you're not aware, just let me know.
I don't live on those. I don't live on those. I mean, we got some social, but go ahead your thread about the men having more times with their kids. Listen, you only kind of rent your children, because at some point they're going to be on their own, and then even with all of this stuff that you want to indoctrinate your kids to live the way you can, and you can absolutely do that in the system that we're in if you're a aware parent. Now,
I think it works better if the father. I think it works better if the father is working and the mother's homeschooling, and then the father gets to actually implement his coding on the children that way. I do not think that the way the capitalist system works and with public school systems in America working the way that they do is working well for anybody. I think we need to, in general, need to be homeschooling. Do you think that public school is working well for young black boys and young black women?
No, absolutely not. Okay, so
I think homeschooling. I think homeschooling as a village where it's like your family and the people who you believe in.
Berlin, wait a minute. You said something important, right? You know, some people do homeschool their kids, even in this capitalist system. They just decide that they can't live a lavish life on one salary. So I agree with you. If you have the 4 or 5 years my wife didn't work when my kids were real young, was probably some of the best years of their life. And then when my wife did go back to work, or in terms of being, indoctrinated and talked to, when she did go back to work, it was a job where she had maximum flexibility. Okay. Right. So she always was able. Our kids were always under our umbrella. You know, so I don't disagree with that homeschooling thing, but people do that even under our capitalistic system.
You know, I'll give you the difference. Here's the thing. If you look at public schools that we have here in America versus public schools in countries or countries like China, those kids have a different discipline. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Those kids in China, they actually go outside. They do calisthenics. All of them do the same thing. They work. They go to school. They take a nap. You know what I mean? They do all the type of stuff. And they spend way more time in school than we do. Now, if you look at our school system, yes, it's public school system, but how we go about it is completely different. Our kids don't go outside. They feed them all type of trash. You know what I mean? They pass them along, even though they didn't deserve to do it. We don't get them support when it comes to the homework. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So you have to look at it like this. Schoolwork in one system is public versus schoolwork in another one is totally different. And I think we have to start looking at why is there a difference? And I don't think it has nothing to do with socialism or capitalism at all. In those particular situations, it's all about discipline and what we believe in and what they believe in. And that's the difference, because I can tell you like this, during our Payne's time and Trey Ferg's time, all of us went outside and we had to play. We had calisthenics. Remember that? We had to pass a certain physical exam, all of that stuff. And then when they took that away in the 80s and 90s, it was a wrap, bro. It was a wrap, you know? And I think physical fitness is one of those situations where, you know, it plays on your mental as well, too. And I think that's probably the reason why we got a lot of fragile people when it comes to their mind, because their physical fitness isn't up to par. Am I not right, Coach Ferg?
It's funny you say that, right? It wasn't, like PE, a lot of those classes, they didn't take them out. What it is, they became unstructured. And remember, PE and school was a place that your parents better not even get a phone call about you acting up. She wasn't coming to yell at the teacher. They was coming to get on you because they taught you to be better before you left that house.
Right.
And this is far as and this is the education part. You know what I'm saying? Because the system, I agree that education information needs to change. We need to see in this, as far as the school histories, that we were something other than slaves in our history. We need to be able to read. Young people need to be able to read that. The math needs to stay the same. The sciences needs to be implemented more. They don't have science and biology. They have it, but it's all on a sheet of paper. They not dissecting frogs in most inner city schools. Now you go to the suburban schools where the taxpayers are, they have a little bit more say so. And doing the parent teacher conferences, doing all of these events where the children are going to be promoting what they learn, the parents show up in droves. Report card pickups, parents show up in droves. Fathers and mothers show up, or father or the mother, whoever's available at that time. In a lot of inner city schools, the youth don't get that support. And they may go through their whole entire school experience without that support. So now they don't see the examples of men in the schools. In our schools, it's mostly women, which it sounds good. Women should be, but the way young people are checking out early now, without that male leadership, without that foundation, without that father figure saying, hey, sit your butt down. Hey, go in there, go outside. You heard your mama say, take the trash out, take it out, go cut the grass. A lot of young men ain't had that. So the structure is not there and the foundation is missing because they don't know who they are coming out the gate. And then you're talking about a woman, because by default, we want a woman, especially a man, you know. And if that foundation is not set and those conversations are not had, you can't expect the results to change. But I'll say this and I'll shut up. But on YouTube, especially now, I'm seeing men sort of come out of that shell that they got their money is increasing like it always has. They're getting information from men who they didn't have access to before, and they're setting a standard and being a sort of an idol to those men. But those men may or may not be moving in righteous energy. And even the man's growing, he might get caught up in his own self-idolization instead of doing it the righteous way. And still reaching back to those that maybe in the nephew who you see struggling, mama struggling, have them come over, spend the night. And brother, I'll say this. Take 10 of your friends that you know who may have the same ideology as you have, and show up at those courts and say, hey, we need to change these laws. Hey, we need to change these laws. Get 10 brothers in 2 states. Say, hey, let's go down here and sort of bring attention to it. And one of the things that's going to be hard is having the women come on board for that change, because the laws need all of us to change. They need all of us. Can't do it. We already see what America thinks of us as a group of black men. So somehow we just gotta find a way to work together, man.
Have you ever seen the movie Office Space?
Yes.
Cool.
Office Space.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's the only solution that could actually work, is if men who are lower class and middle class simply just stopped working, not protesting, just stopped until the laws are changed. I think it has to be on, because white men are affected by this. But we can be racist to each other later. Let's go ahead and fix our father rights first. Then we can go back to hating each other. But until then, let's do something where we ain't got to do nothing crazy. Just stop working, stop going and work, and it'll be the elites and the top class trying to convince us to go back. Ignore it all. We are not going back. Not until it's a proposal. We're not going back to work until it's an actual law. That 50-50 custody is a norm. That when you have a child with somebody, that child alienation cannot, all this, that's the only solution I can think of that I actually will work with the least amount of craziness, is if those men just stop. The police who are normally come to enforce these things, they're not working either. So the police force is not working. The fire department is not working. The truck drivers are not working. If we just stayed on code and we did this for 1 month, the law would be changed so fast, because everything would collapse if not.
Berlin, here's the
That's
thing.
my
I don't know if
solution.
you recognize this or not, but I think it's already happened. And I'll explain to you what I mean. Guys have stopped rewarding society with their labor. And they've stopped taking women on dates. They started investing more in themselves. You know what I mean? That type of thing. They don't take people out on restaurants. And what happens is it's forcing other businesses to make adjustments. Businesses are going out of business, you know what I mean? Because they're not being supported by this old system that we used to have. Even if you look at it now, you got states like Tennessee have been changing their laws where now they're requiring unwed fathers and mothers to have a automatic DNA test to find out whether or not that child is his or not before he signs the birth certificate. You know, it's one of his first of its kind, but I got other states who are coming on board as well too. So the thing about it is guys have said, you know, enough is enough, but they haven't stood up all in one voice and beat their chest. They just kind of drawn themselves to the conclusion, like, you know what, I'm not going to participate. And that's the reason why they're having a hard time finding guys going into the military. They're having a hard time finding guys to get these hard labor jobs. They're doing just enough to take care of themselves, and they're not doing anything extra until people start respecting who they are. And they're not saying anything. Some people like to call it quiet quitting. Some people like to say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to disappear for a while and take care of me and do me. But then that's the main reason why you see a lot of these women on the internet crying like, where have all the men gone?
Yeah.
You know, they don't do what they want to do. These men are sassy, whatever it is. They're unleashing every piece of sign language they can use to get men back up under their thumb. And I think men have all collectively, without speaking to each other, said, you know what? It ain't worth it. Until they actually change, until the laws actually change, you know, we just gonna have to go ahead and mind our own business. And whatever happens, happens. You know, Kevin Samuel said a long time ago, winter is coming. Well, guess what? It ain't no snowflakes no more. We got a full-fledged blizzard. And I think that's the main reason why guys have said, you know what, until the conditions change, I ain't going outside.
Well, let me add, you said one thing that's really true.
We got to get some sound effects, man. That was good.
We have one, we do. Yeah, we do have a sound effect for that. We have to play it. The one thing that's really true. This is the one issue about family courts and how marriage is being treated, where black men and white men and every other man have absolute camaraderie in the way the pain is being weeded out. And I'm really surprised that there hasn't been a coalition together of men of all races to try to fight this shit. You know, because there's a lot of weak ass men who think there's nothing wrong too, that will defend and pander to these women and saying we don't need to change it and all that kind of stuff. And they'll probably be some of the loudest voices, you know, because we know the women want to have this. So, but there is a common thread where, you know, the white man is not our enemy in this one, in terms of the rank and file married white man or guys who want to have families and stuff like that. We have absolutely a lot in common.
You're absolutely correct. It happens to so many men in Australia. It's happening to so many men in Japan. It's happening to so many men in China. It's happening to so many men, and even here in Germany, it's happening to a lot of men. It's happening to men, again, outside of the Muslim countries. Any first world country, probably, it's happening to those men. So I don't know how or why we haven't connected this dot to say, hey, this is how we fix it. A global, just not giving a shit. And again, we ain't got to go protest. We ain't got to go we ain't got to do none of that. Just stop answering the phone. just turn your phone off.
I think guys have figured that out, man.
Until it's fixed, we're not showing up on the news. We don't need a head leader. We don't need none of that. Just, hey, you know what?
I think the reason why it's headless is because every time there is a movement, there's a head. It gets cut off.
Cut it off.
So guys,
that's why there shouldn't be a head.
Yeah,
I'm not the head of this. I'm just making the idea. I don't want nothing happening to me.
Yeah. Guys have gotten smart and said, you know what, we just gonna, be quiet.
Let's do it.
You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna say nothing. We're not gonna protest. We're not gonna say what we ain't gonna do. They're just gonna not participate. It's kind of hard to lose at the game if you never play.
Coach Ferger, please watch that movie with your son. Office Space is there's so many gems in that movie. It really is.
Yeah. Listen, man. All right. So what's up? So we overtime? What's up?
Yeah, we gonna look at overtime, man. Yeah, I think we didn't say all we need to say on this one. We're gonna let this one rock out.
Well, Thank you so much. Really, I don't have beliefs. I just have ideas, and ideas can evolve and change. I have a lot of my ideas have evolved through this conversation, and thank you so much for allowing the conversation to happen. A lot of times on these panels, they don't come full circle.
Right.
They turn into frustration and what the fucks. So thank you all three of you for allowing this conversation to actually go full circle. And I promise you that my beliefs are not stoic. They have evolved through this conversation, so your words have not been in vain.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna steal a line from Bruce Lee. Don't be so rigid, man. You know what I'm saying? You'll break. Be like water, my friend. You know, water flows.
Exactly.
Crash. You know, it takes form. You know what I mean? Be like water, my friend.
All right.
All right, you got anything you want to add?
And bald lives matter, okay? We a community, all right? We all right. I know you one of us lost in translation. You trying to just embrace it. One day you can take that oppressor's head wrap off and be part of the community, okay?
What you say? You said something to me. I missed that.
No, I was just saying. I was telling him, be like water, man. Don't be so rigid. You're thinking that you break under pressure the minute something that comes across that don't agree with you.
All
right, Philip. Appreciate the conversation, brothers.
All right, JT, man.
Hello, JT, man.
I contribute a little more. I'm just under the weather right now, but I needed to come and, give my little 2 cents, bro. But I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, JT. As always, it's a pleasure, brother.
Man, be safe out there, man.
All right.
Take it easy. You want to add anything before we get up out of here, man?
Hey, man, real quick, man, good conversation, man. I think this is a gray area where men are, man. I think, man, discover who you are first, man. Put in the effort to find out who you are, man. So if and when you want to get married or decide to get married, or that woman appears that you think you may want to be with, man, be more intentional. Be more intentional, but know who you are, man. And, I'll say this, man, there's no one way. There's no one way, man. You have to figure it out through your own life. Stop listening to people who ain't got no way. That's what you need to do. And if all else fails, go to the source and move accordingly, man. And pray on it sometime. Pray, be thankful for the things you got. And hopefully, you never know, man.
Yeah.
Man, good conversation, man.
As a married man, I would just like add this. And I'm a big advocate for marriage. But I'm also learning that there's some people who just shouldn't get married. I mean, because there's a certain amount of minimum I's you have to dot and T's you have to cross before you actually say I do. And I don't think people are doing that, So that's why we have all these destroyed marriages. They mess up the statistics. And, and listen, men should not, compromise too much or at all when you want to marry. If you have a criteria, you should stick with it, because that's your vetting process. Once you start making exceptions, now you're lost, and once you get married, man, I think it almost a prenup, no matter what your station in life, might be something that you might want to do before you get married as well. It's an extra expense, but if you're going to get married in a traditional expense, you're going to be spending money anyway. So for a few $1,000s and some peace of mind, that's a conversation you probably should have with your wife as well. No matter what your station is. I mean, even if you're dead broke, because you don't expect to be dead broke forever. So that's me evolving a little bit. If you're a rich man, you definitely have to have a prenup, because let me tell you, a rich woman ain't marrying nobody without a prenup.
You better believe that.
Just ain't marrying nobody without a prenup. So when they start doing that boo-hoo whining and crying, I might leave a woman just for arguing over having a prenup. When you bring it up, I say, you're not the woman for me. Because she wants to be able to have that gun. So anyway, that's it for me, man. So this is a good conversation. I think men should just get together and start looking at different laws in different states that are starting to bend in our favor, and start projecting that. So we can start to say, hey, things are changing, and maybe start a momentum where if your state ain't doing something that another state is, how do you get that moving in your state? especially paternity laws.
Absolutely.
And you know, when those snowballs start flowing down the hill, it tends to take a lot of things with it. If we had mandatory paternity tests, a lot of other shit will just start to fall in place.
It sure will start revealing the true nature of people.
That's right.
Yes.
Anyway, that's it for me, man.
I appreciate y'all pain. Anybody else came up? Coach Ferg, thank you, man, for coming up. JT, Broken in Berlin. Of course, BMU, as always, it's a pleasure.
I told BMU that he should. I'm sorry. I told BMU every so often he should do a little bit more soliloquies when he's.
That's why we let him fry a little bit this morning.
Yeah, man. Get up there, man.
Let him go off a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Yeah, that's the reason why I have my show on Thursday, man, so I can have my thoughts. You know what I mean? Because I got a lot to say. And I want to make sure I get it out because some of that stuff be good, man. I don't want to go to waste. I don't want to get interrupted. So that's the reason why I do it the way I do it. But my thing is this, man. I want guys to let wisdom be their guide. You know what I mean? Improve upon your mind. We spend a lot of time talking about our bodies and how to satisfy our flesh. Satisfy your curiosity. Satisfy what you think, who you are. Develop your station in life and where you should be. You know, think about the rest of the world as your oyster, the places you can go, the things you can do, you know what I mean? The relationships you can form here and abroad. You know what I mean? Don't let your life go stagnant. Go ahead and be the champion of your own life. And if you do that, then you'll understand that you'll protect yourself a little bit better because you'll be more at that particular point in time. And remember, it's never too late to start. And as long as you're alive, hey, you still got today to do what you need to do. As always, y'all, I appreciate y'all for coming in, sharing with us on the Barbershop tonight. Thank you guys for enjoying yourselves here on the Black Man Unfiltered Network. I'm Lost in Translation. This is our pain, and this is Coach Ferg. I'm going to thank you guys. God bless and good night.